casually. Oh wow, that's a new intro. Did you pick this one?
G-Gym in Hallandale, Florida presents G-Talks with the host Anton the Champ Antipov and his co-host David the Shaman Morin. Energy, and it's all yours.
Oh, what's up? Welcome everybody. Thank you, Anton, for that. Pretty awesome.
Very awesome.
Pretty awesome. I think I lost connection here to my mic.
Bro, I can't hear you, Anton. Where are you?
Microphone's not. Oh,
there you go. Welcome back, man.
Thanks, man. I was lost there for a second. I saw the light. Yeah, dude. So, boom. We got David Morin here. So what I realized the other day is, even though Dave's been co-hoing here at G-Gym, we didn't get to share Dave's story on the podcast, which is a very important one because this man is a genius. And so he's very smart, very intellectual, well-spoken. So basically we just wanted to talk about your stuff, your life. You have a lot of things that I feel the newer generation could take away from and learn. So don't be so serious, bro.
Hey, man.
Don't be so fucking serious.
You're making me
pull that serious. This is not a serious podcast. I should probably fart right now just to like break the ice.
Yeah. That would definitely.
But so before you go into it, I have some questions that people have been asking me, and then you can go into your storytelling mode.
Let's do it.
So, and then keep in mind they're not very intellectual questions.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
Nice.
Cool. Cohoing Dave. So, Dave, I'm 33. Can I be fitness in this age?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Break it down.
I mean, obviously.
Dave, how old are you?
I'm 44.
There you go.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
That answers the question.
All right. Should we move on, or you want to break it down? Why?
Yeah, it's a couple things. Like,
right.
So your body is a product of hormonal processes. So when you're younger, obviously it's easier to maintain muscle or to grow muscle and stay lean. But as you get older, you have to be very wise about creating an environment that's going to get you the results you want. So it's weight training. It's more strict diet. It's me specifically. I use the sauna, man. The sauna and fasting just jack testosterone up. They keep you lean. They keep you insulin sensitive. All the mechanisms that you had when you were young hormonally can still be active up until you're 50, I think, without the use of drugs. But you have to be pretty strict.
Can I ask a sub question?
Sure.
With that question?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like you have to taper the weights down a bit, like the volume of weights that you're working with as you get older, or could you just stick to one and keep progressing from moderate to heavier as you get older? I think
I've scaled back my overall weight moved. Like, say, for example, like I used to define fitness kind of like the way CrossFit did, but a little differently. Like your ability as an individual to move a certain amount of weight, a certain amount of times in a certain amount of time.
Right.
So I scaled back the amount of weight I was moving in the amount of time, but I increased the amount of repetitions with that lower weight in a shorter amount of time. So to put it like in terms of, do I not lift heavy? I do, but it's a lot less frequent. So I'll keep the machine moving and keep everything working properly.
Right.
And then when I feel like maybe once a month on one specific body part, I'll go a max day on it.
Okay.
Because
you don't go to failure or max out all
my
the time.
joints are just suffering, The
Okay.
joints are killing me.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So next question. Are you guys... I'm reading them as I get them.
Okay, cool. We're not gay.
As
we're not gay. We're dads, and we have kids. We're happily in relationships.
Are
Thanks.
you guys drink alcohol beverages? If yes, how often?
You know, I had a few cocktails this weekend in Grand Cayman. Oh, I felt like shit afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, and it was just pineapple juice and rum, and it just gave me a headache.
So how often do you drink?
The only thing I can drink now, man, is probably a shot of tequila or some good wine.
We actually have some tequila in the sauce.
Sweet.
Right
Let's get fired
Let's
up.
get fucked up.
And some wine, man, some wine from Europe, you know, that doesn't have all the sulfites in it. Wine from the U.S., I don't know if you know, like the way that
told me about the California wine.
Yeah.
Dave hates California.
I do. Well, what they do is, like, to get a vineyard, all they do is they take grapes, and if they do have characteristics or that are undesirable, they use masking agents.
Yeah.
So that when you smell them, it smells a certain way.
Right.
And they just send it off to a chemist and probably launch wine. So there's a lot of contaminants and sulfites and things in wine. I don't dig it.
Okay.
I can tell.
So you don't drink because you don't like how it makes you feel the next day? Or
Correct,
just
yeah.
Because,
Mhm.
okay, cool.
Yep.
If anybody's wondering, I don't drink. Maybe once a year. Just to
celebrate. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I drink, I drink.
Yeah. New Year's. Yeah, I do too.
I don't do
No.
a sip of wine here and there.
You do a big meal
Anton knows.
with some drinks. Yeah.
I think me and Anton killed a bottle of tequila.
New Year's?
Just between. No, it was Thursday. No, we just like, we opened the gym, you know, and it was just, I don't know.
Fuck it.
We're like, there's a hookah lounge right down the street.
Let's get fucked up
Leo
today.
came in, right?
Leo came in, and Leo couldn't remember anything, so he had a good. He's actually coming this weekend. Leo
Okay.
Pacheco, you'll meet him.
Okay.
He's going to be here on a podcast this weekend.
He's the doctor.
No. The doctor is coming next week.
Okay.
But Leo tagged along with us. Leo is my training partner from New York,
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I've seen posts of him. Yeah.
and
He's a wild man, huh?
he just can't handle liquor.
Can't handle it.
Hanging, well, at least I don't think a lot of people can hang with Russians in terms of drinking.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's just part of your culture.
It's
but
just genetics, bro.
it's like genetics, bro. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't drink. But when I do, I love to drink limitless, so to speak. You know, like if I barf, I mean, whatever. But I just one of those things. And then the next day, I remember why I stopped. And
Right.
then I don't drink again
Get out of your system
for
yeah.
another year.
Yeah, you fully commit.
There you go. I don't know why this question just sort of like very open ended. So, how many grams of carbs?
Well, that depends, you know. It's could be 1,000.
Yeah,
Could be 100.
I'm assuming. Okay, so let me clarify the question a little bit.
How many cups?
How
I love this caveman talk.
How many carbs in the vodka?
How many cups?
So, I guess. Well, how many carbs if you were to have a post workout meal? How many grams of carbs maybe you would have?
I don't.
Or pre-workout.
Yeah, pre-workout maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do probably 300 grams for a nice pre-workout. Yeah, carb load.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many weeks can you gain muscle mass?
Oh my gosh, these are
Yeah.
very, very general questions that are.
And I think it's a lot of people from other countries, so that's why it's not very.
Yeah. Although that's a really good question because it's specific to this person's needs.
Yeah.
I would need to know specifically who this person is, what their weight, their
Do you want me to give you
age.
their Instagram handle?
Yeah. So, I want to send him a DM so I can get all the info I need.
Send him this penis pump that you brought here.
There you go. It's just work out on that three times a day. And the gains will be unlimited.
Like, but Dave, I wanted a bigger bag, not a bigger penis.
Bigger boner, guaranteed. Yeah. So, sorry, man. I don't think you can answer that question. I think maybe naturally, if you're eating right, training right, sleeping right, if you're training hard, maybe you could gain 5 pounds a year. Maybe. What do you think, Anton?
5 pounds a year sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't like to put time limit on anything.
Right.
You know, I just tell people, man, just train and just train. You know? Just you got to enjoy. Like people that diets are for people that want to achieve the end result. If you enjoy working out, just enjoy working out.
Right.
You know, and just learn about nutrition and training as you go along. Yeah. And in this way, it'll come to you eventually, right? You'll progress every day, a little bit, but every day. And you won't necessarily even see the end result until one day you just wake up and you're like, holy fuck, I'm shredded, or something like that.
Is that what you did? That's exactly what you did.
I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God, it happened.
Abs. My girl the other day, she wakes up and she's like, did you see this? I have abs.
She's tripping. I love it. Yeah. But, dude, that's a real transformation, dude. For women out there that are giving birth, thank you for bringing people into the world. That's an incredible transformation that happens to you. I know you don't feel like you have control over your body most of the time, but wow, what a miracle.
Yeah. And then I don't think this is a question, but it says statement. Google hacking the presidential election of 2020. Okay.
Good luck. It's already hacked. Everyone can spread their opinion so fast and make accusations and use disinformation.
I think this the same gentleman actually asked a question for the last podcast about aliens and Area 51 or something like that.
Yeah, the whole Bob Lazar thing that was on Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah. Did you see the guy who actually started the group?
Yeah. Like, I had no idea that my petition was going to cause an uproar. You could tell, like, that
he had a Naruto outfit going on. He did the run.
Yeah.
Did you see it, Anton? Yeah. Oh, my God. It's so funny.
That guy had no business leading a legion of people
he's like, we're going to run this fast. So he puts his hands behind his back, and he almost falls.
Yeah. The military must be like laughing.
The military is like, oh shit, bring in more men.
Yeah.
So they can laugh at this.
If the United States Army was made out of these people.
But there's a lot of celebrities actually that signed up for this stuff. I'm pretty sure Anton's gonna go and like a lot of
for shizzle.
But like Danny Trejo is one of them.
Bro.
But yeah, it's going to be fun. When is it? Like in September?
All they need to do is just go to Burning Man. You'll see all the aliens you want.
That's true.
Just make a left instead of going north to, whatever.
Take some shrooms.
Yeah, it's true. They're interdimensional. Everybody knows that now. Everybody knows aliens are interdimensional.
Aliens are in your head.
They're not real. Those little grays are just like little androids or decoys. They're decoys. Why would they? Here's the thing, though. I was reading that. It's interesting. They were like, that guy Bob Lazar was talking about the size of the craft and that it could only inhabit, it could only allow the occupants to be maybe 3 foot tall. And there was nothing in there to facilitate organic life at all. It was a completely sterile environment, all metal, just a reactor and some seats and controls. And I was thinking, so why, if they are artificial life forms, if they're not biological life forms, then why did whoever created them, why didn't they just send a robot ship? Why did they have to spend the time to create little?
Because they're not as smart as us.
That's true.
Because we're the smartest.
They're fucking dumb
beings in the universe.
We are. When it comes to the Earth plane, we're definitely the smartest motherfuckers. They don't know shit about the Earth plane. They don't know shit about fucking leg presses and fucking
Mr. Universe.
They don't know about pronation, supination, and splits in the biceps.
Sippination.
Exactly. They don't know nothing about getting drunk with Antons.
Do you know?
Sippination.
That's 2 Antons.
Exactly.
That's why, by the way, we have 2 Antons here. That's why.
That's it. You could call a drunk podcast.
I'm not talking to myself. And
right.
People Anton, probably like
Anton has
right. Anton
called me a fat bug. I'm fine with that.
Anton is Anton's imaginary friend.
Anton doesn't exist.
He did it.
He's like, Anton, how you doing today? And the camera pans back on me from another angle, and it's like, I'm good. How are you?
He did it. I didn't do that.
But I think we're good with the questions. So we got Dave here on the cover of yet another cover. How many covers do you have now? Do you count? Do you keep track?
Do you count the ones that go international?
Yeah,
it's the same image.
It's the same image,
but it's another cover.
I count it if it's a different
country.
Image.
Oh, okay.
No, if it's a different,
it's the same image, you don't count it.
No,
that's a good question.
I mean,
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm internationally published.
It's like 40, maybe 35. I don't know.
Damn, homie.
It depends.
That is awesome.
I'm just an old guy, dude. Don't quit.
Dude, so what you posted a new one, not this one. When did this come out?
That one came out, I think, last February? February 2019, maybe.
Damn. So the new one is for what magazine?
New one is for Inside Fitness Magazine. That's Canada's #1 fitness magazine.
Okay.
So
and you said it pays a homage to Greg because you're on Greg Plid because you're on
on
railroad tracks.
Yeah, railroad tracks. And the shot was shot by Arthur from What's Up, Arthur? Shout out to Arthur. Arsenic Photography. He was close friends with Greg too. Terry was really good friends with Greg.
Look at you, man. You're so intense. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
That's Per Bernal. You know the deal with Per.
Yeah.
It's like one of those dudes that just like, he's like, okay, do it again.
Do it like 75 more times.
Exactly.
And then 2 more times just so we can get the shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity to kind of just collaborate with some of Greg's friends who shared some good memories about Greg and put something together that was kind of like, dude, fitness was something I think Greg brought to such a bigger audience. And I think he was somebody, it just wasn't about the training. It was just about the mind over matter, the motivation of it, the true guts to get the glory. Frame of mind, not so much what you're doing, but how you're doing it, and, we did that whole shoot, and, it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. I think Greg, if, he has some type of sensory capability in this plane, he probably was like, fuck yeah.
He's like, yeah, man.
Fuck yeah.
He gave you a spiritual high five.
He did. He probably took a drag of his Marlboro and fucking was like, fuck yeah, boy.
He smoked Marlboro?
Dude, he used to smoke.
Dude, that's a man right there.
Dude.
That's a man.
When people ask me about what was it like to hang out
with
vape? Greg, nah, he didn't. Fuck with that pussy shit. He didn't vape. Matter of fact, if you took him to a hookah lounge and shit, he'd be like, man, what the fuck is that shit, man? Said some goddamn octopus. I ain't putting that shit to my face. He's like John Wayne, dude. He was like the John Wayne of fitness. Like I remember we did our first shoot for Rodale, like drove out to Rodale and for Men's Health. And I met him and he was smoking fucking like a chimney, but shredded, like peeled. And I was like, dude, how the fuck do you do this? And he was like, I just smoke cigarettes all day. Can't you tell?
Damn, I didn't know that about Greg. I didn't know he was
he smoked. And if you wanted a drinking partner, you guys, that dude could hang with the Russians, bro.
Okay.
He would literally, his routine was this. Like, I lived with him for 2 weeks in Burbank in his house and took care of the dogs and shit. And so he would wake up at like 6:37, let the dogs out first thing.
Who let the dogs out? You let the dogs out.
Yeah. He would light up, smoke a cigarette, and then he would fucking take like a pile of like supplements and put them in his pocket full of lint.
Okay.
And then he would take like Metrics. Shout out to Metrics for being old school as fuck. He'd take a shaker cup, pull it full of 2 scoops of their pre-workout. It's called Amped.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'd go to the gym. Probably by 8 o'clock, we'd be in the gym. And he'd just chug that thing of 2 scoops, and he'd down that pill on an empty stomach, just grab the lint and the dust, and like a savage, like a little skateboard kid, like a 12-year-old skater who would just get like potato chip crumbs out of his pocket.
It's real, man.
Yeah, and just eat it. And then
I still do that.
Yeah,
I eat lint for breakfast.
It's no way to feel humble, man. Never forget where you come from. But yeah, and then, dude, by the time we do the workout, we'd come back and he'd just go, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be like an hour out here fucking around with this video. So whatever you need to do, fucking handle your business, dude." Okay. So he'd go out there and he'd crack up. I'm talking like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
He'd let the dogs out again. He had nice AstroTurf because he hated the dog shit, so he wanted to clean it up. And he had this huge fish tank that he cut 3 of his fingers off making. It's another cool story you could see on his website. But he'd crack open. He would drink like Michelob Light. Okay. He's a Michelob Light guy during the day.
Okay.
At night, he'd drink like...
He's like Angry Bastard ale.
Yeah, he'd drink like thick ale or like get shit-faced on wine or liquor. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't discriminate. So, he'd crack open a light beer and just fucking prop open his laptop and just smoke a cigarette and be like, editing and Final Cut. Dude. Just take all the things and shit. Take
like the fitness Bukowski.
Yeah, he did. He like 3 beers into it.
Yeah.
2 cigarettes and 1 Rockstar, and he was done.
Mm.
Yeah, and then he was like, hey man, you want to go to the gym again? Are you crazy? You haven't eaten anything. He's like, fuck it, man. I got to get this shit out of me. You know, all that beer I had, I got to get it out. I was like, okay. So we go again. And then, dude, that guy wouldn't eat until he'd have like a Subway sandwich with double meat at like 8 o'clock at night.
Damn.
And that was it. That was it, I remember the first time I went there, I figured, oh, dude, his fridge must be stacked with like organic whole food, like the real deal. I open it up, it's like lunch meat, beer.
Lunchables, like the little
just meat.
crackers.
He's got salty meat in there. It's a fridge full of salty meats. And I'm like, when he would do his cooking tutorials, I would laugh.
It's to soak up all that beer.
Yeah, he would do, today, guys, I'm going to show you how to do, the Power Pack protein quesadillas. And I would be laughing at his ass because I'd be like, where the fuck you get them quesadillas, man? You don't need quesadillas, man. What the fuck is that? He go, I know, man, but I got to make content for these motherfuckers. They're asking for recipes and shit. Like, okay, dude.
Can we order some quesadillas?
Sounds good, right?
Presented it.
Yeah.
Cooking channel.
Dude, if I was going to pay homage to a meal with Greg, it would definitely be a cigarette, it'd be light beers and quesadillas. That would be Greg's meal right there.
All right.
Yeah. Cheers, Greg.
We'll do that on his birthday.
Sour cream.
When's his birthday? You remember?
Yeah. His birthday is November 3rd.
Okay.
1977.
We'll do that.
We'll do it.
We'll do that breakfast
For JP, baby. For JP.
All right. So you did this cover, and then you did the new cover. And what you posted on Facebook is that it's going to be your last, probably it's going to be your last cover. Why would you say that? Why would you say some stupid shit like that, David?
You know.
And you didn't respond to Anton's comment. I saw it.
Oh, I didn't get there yet, man. Sorry, I was out of the country.
Stupid.
I know it's not Facebook, man. Log in. Check your comments, fucker. We don't care if you're on vacation with your daughters.
So what's up with the?
You know the deal, man. It's
You're just tired of the industry.
It's not that. It's just you only have so much life to live, and you only have so much, energy to give to certain things. And I think we all go through these phases where we want to kind of reinvent ourselves. Yeah. And there's only so many fingers I can have my little dirty hands on. Yeah. So fitness and doing magazine covers was always. I made relationships with people back in the day, like you have, great photographers, great writers, people in the industry that really knew how to create a career in the industry by doing the work and having an image and being consistent and just being a solid person that you can depend on, And nowadays it's just all production and hype and algorithmic, manipulation.
So you just stuff. Okay.
So I'm just kind of like, what do I want to do? I want to play guitar more. I want to get into music again. I want to get into producing films that are more like a greater outlet for what I feel my life experience can be funneled into creatively.
Yeah. So if somebody came up to you and they're like, Dave, we want to give you a cover of GQ, you'd be like, fuck you guys.
Fuck off. You can GQ my cock.
Flick your cigarette at them in their face.
Exactly. That's exactly. Because I knew somewhere in the back of their minds they're going to be like, once we get him on the cover, we'll proposition him and leverage this against him. We'll take nude photos and spread them around the world. And then we own him. Then he's ours. That's what they would do, man. That's how Hollywood works.
Can you do a whole podcast in that way?
Yeah, exactly. I can do it.
Oh God.
Yeah, man. People don't understand. You've lived in New York. You've dug through the days of the snow, going from the train to the gym. Knocking on weirdos' doors in crazy apartment buildings that you got to buzz up and you got to talk to this photographer or that casting director or this person or that person. It's just it's a grind when you're doing it for real.
Yeah, but so now it's like this cover and the newest one that you've shot, right, for Inside Fitness magazine. Mm-hmm. So these covers, they just called you up because they already know because you're established. Right, so they called you and they're like, "Hey, Dave, we want to shoot you for the cover. right? It's not like you had to go somewhere for a casting or.
That one was a pitch. You know, a lot of times magazines are like anything. They have a creative director, they have the editor, and there's a certain magic formula when it comes to getting their interest. What I knew is that Pear was somebody that, you know, I wanted to work with. So what I did was, for my my product, Flow 2, the respiratory enhancement product,
Yeah.
I wanted to do like a campaign to where I could do some advertisings with Pear.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I paid Pear's fee. You know, I paid his fee, and then in the back of my mind, I was thinking, you know, it would be awesome to get it published. It'd be awesome to get it into Muscle Fitness.
Yeah. I remember that. I saw that.
But it wasn't necessarily like the total focus.
Right.
You know, it was like, let's give it our best shot. If I show up in shape, which I'll do my part, I'll come up with an article about, you know, oxygen saturation training, which is just like the Wim Hof method in between weight training. It's basically what it is. You know, Wim Hof is going to revolutionize the way we look at our physiology and its capabilities.
Yeah.
And breathing is just fundamentally.
Is this you?
That's me, dude. That's my new one piece, y'all. Check it out on getmoreonepiece.com. But so oxygen saturation is a protocol that's in the article there. It's about how you maximize respiration in between your sets and your training, especially when you're doing HIIT training. So I co-wrote that article, and then I cited a lot of literature in the
It's a nice picture.
commercial, right? It's like, yeah, dude, I fucking almost died. You know, I'm glad to be here.
I wasn't talking about this one. I was talking
Yeah,
about
that one. Yeah.
But
I'm glad to be here, dude. At the end of the day, I'm just happy to be here with you, man.
Dude.
I'm just back right here, man.
Damn, you were out.
Yeah.
So this was the first time you got to shot with.
And they use the worst pictures too.
Bruh.
They always do. The cover was great. I love the cover.
Yeah.
But the pictures, there were way better pictures in the exercise
Yeah.
section.
I remember I shot with Per for Muscle and Fitness also, and on
the bike.
We shot so much cool stuff on the bike.
Yeah.
Where
is that, Pear?
Bruh.
Where is that Muscle
They didn't
Fitness?
use it.
I want to see it.
They used me doing TRX, like a bunch of
I saw
exercises.
that.
And
That was great.
You know who got the cover? The guy from the new Rocky movie.
Oh,
No, not Rocky. Creed.
Oh, he sucks.
The guy that played the Russian.
Yeah, he's not as cool as you. Dolph Lundgren?
Not Dolph Lundgren.
No?
His son.
Oh, his
Well, in the
son.
movie.
Okay,
his son
yeah,
in the movie. Yeah, so the movie was coming out. They were promoting the movie, but when we're shooting, they're like, Anton, we're probably going to fly you down for a possible. Well, I was already in LA, so they were flying me down, but they're like, we're probably going to shoot you for a possible cover of Muscle and Fitness. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm down. You know,
Oh,
I just
yeah.
heard cover, and then I'm like, I'm game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was on vacation with my family.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to just call you in to do an inside.
Well, a bunch of
spread
exercises
without
that
a
somebody
cover.
else. Yeah. So anyway, but we shot a bunch of cool images. Unfortunately, they were never used, but yeah, you're right. They pick like you know, their own version of you.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's not really what I don't.
Yeah, we got the shot.
I
We
look
did
like-
30 tries to get the shot, and you guys didn't use the shot. Like,
But
the fuck is
so that was the first time you shot with Pear.
with Pear, yeah.
Pear is amazing. If you guys don't know, Pear has been shooting like all the iconic black and white images for Muscle and Fitness, Flex Magazine, pretty much every fitness magazine there is.
Yeah. Exclusively shoots The Rock.
Yeah.
Shoots like
Yeah.
the who's who in bodybuilding.
Exactly.
Phil
He's
Heath,
amazing.
anybody.
All right, well, cool. Glad
Anton
you.
Anipov.
Oh, that guy.
Him too.
Fucking
The
douche.
legend of fucking physiques, period.
He's like stuck to this chair now for the next 2 weeks. But so let's get into your story, man.
Yeah.
So ever since you were a baby, no, not
I
that far,
preferred my toe instead of my thumb.
not that far back, but somebody, you know, because I had a lot of people asking like, what happened, why you were in a coma, and so before the coma, when you started training, started pursuing before the penis pump, before you started pursuing your fitness.
That was my big break, bro. And I mean big break.
We'll get to it in a second.
We'll get to it.
But you know, how did you start with taking fitness more seriously, I guess. You don't have to take us to the beginning where you were a little boy playing with pebbles on a beach. You know, a little skateboard dweeb. But,
what? That's some, you were holding some grudge again because you're a blader. You're an inline skater, and I'm a skateboarder.
There's rivalry.
There is. It was stupid, wasn't it? It was like, can't we just all share the park? It's okay.
My wheels are attached to my feet. What do you have against me?
Exactly. Tribalism. You took my line, man. That's my line. That's my curb. I waxed that curb. It's mine. Don't grind on it.
Don't grind.
No. So, yeah, I mean, like most people, like anybody, I was born in Europe. I was born in Germany. So you guys know the deal. Soccer was the thing that you did. You always played soccer. But then I got out of all that jazz, and I played basketball in high school with Allen Iverson. He went on to be a huge NBA star.
Well, that's a cool Snapple fact right there.
Yeah, it's wow. I was his second string. He was a super talented guy. Never saw any play time for myself, but I got to clap a lot for Allen while he scored every point and won the game. Yeah. That was just for a season, though. My thing back then was martial arts and skateboarding. Skateboarding was my first love, man. Skateboarding. I was semi-professional. I skated for a company called Outlook Skateboards. They're out of Virginia. And I skated with Tony Hawk.
You lived in Virginia for how long?
13, 14 years. Virginia's crazy, man. Virginia has a grid on it that's just like, when I moved there from Europe, I was like, yeah, surely it can't be as bad as people say it is. Like the whole, this side of the railroad tracks are these people and the other side are these people. No, literally it was like, you're on that side, you're a brown person, and you're on this side and you're a white person. It was like, really? Because where I lived, it was just everybody, especially in the military. The military is, there's every kind of person. We're just people where you're not designated by your ethnicity or your race or religion. It's about your rank.
Yeah.
So that was a real shock for me. And to see how the kids would treat each other based on those racial signaling and how they were still kind of living with that brainwashing. Yeah. I was like, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
So I didn't want any part of basketball or any team sports in high school anymore. I just started skateboarding, man. I was like, get this fucking shit away from me. I just want to be on my own. So skateboarding was my first love, and I really fucking just went after it hard, man. And it really taught me a lot. Fundamentally, skateboarding taught me, and maybe it's the same with rollerblading with you.
It's not.
Yeah. It teaches you how to fall. Like,
yeah, that's true.
You fall on your fucking ass so many times. You fall and you get back up, and you fall and get back up, and you bloody your elbow, and you crack your shin. And
it wasn't not a big deal. I was bloody all the time.
Yeah. Not a big deal, man. Not a big deal. So I look back at my life, and I'm thankful for that, because you go through many falls. If you're really trying to get somewhere in life, you're going to fall many, many times and fail. And skateboarding really taught me like the value of getting my confidence back by just fucking picking myself up, So after skateboarding, I met my high school sweetheart. We got married and all that jazz, so I had to grow up. I couldn't depend on winning a competition that paid $500 and gave me free stickers and a fucking 7-Eleven discount Slurpee card. So I quit skateboarding. I still play guitars. I got into martial arts, and then my girlfriend, or my wife at that time, we already had 2 kids.
When you skateboarded, was it like half pipe competition?
No, it was it was street course. It was like X Games, street course stuff, cool. Pyramids and quarter pipes and stuff. Damn. I didn't fuck with the big vert stuff. Although I would, but I didn't like the feeling of falling, like from 20 foot high.
Yeah, can you still do all that stuff?
I could probably still navigate through it as far as doing the tricks I used to do. No, because the pain that using those muscles would be like a week of like, you're out of commission, old man. You can't hang. But there's a guy named Nick Damier, I think his name is. He's like a ridiculous squatter. He does like all these crazy squatting tutorials. Yeah. He's on Instagram. You can find him. But he was a professional skateboarder, I think, for Birdhouse. I don't know, one of the big brands. Dude, he's fucking killer still. He's got big old quads, and he's like, and he still goes out and shreds. He does crazy shit. Ollies over 20 stairs.
Damn.
Yeah, he's inspiring me. Still young, though. He don't know.
Yeah.
He don't know, son. When you get 40, you're just like, nah, fuck that skateboard. One fall on that motherfucker, I'd be walking like you, bro.
Yeah, I'm walking a little funny.
So I ended up getting married, and then, we were together for 7 years, and then went through a really fucked up divorce, and had to fight for my kids, and I lost my home. I was actually homeless for a couple of weeks. I used to shower in the gym, Bally's Total Fitness. That's where I kind of caught my ex-wife fucking around with me with this guy named David, ironically. And dude, I would not wish this on my worst enemy. As a young dad, you just doing the bullshit jobs because it's the right thing to do for your family. Yeah. It had nothing to do with my own personal growth or what I wanted to do with my life. It was just providing for those little mouths, man, those little kids, And when I went through all that and realized, I was trying to make somebody happy, I was trying to do the right thing, but ultimately I failed. Why did I fail? I think it was because I didn't pursue what it is I was supposed to be pursuing.
Maybe you feel like you were trying to make her happy more than living your own life?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I know that feeling.
And there were demands that were made. And so I had to please everybody. And it was like, you ever seen those guys, the Chinese guys that have the things with the plates on them? You feel like that guy every day. And a fucking one plate crashes and they all come down, you know? And that's, as a father, you're supposed to be a rock, And when you get into that kind of situation, when shit's just falling around you, you lose your wife, she's with another guy, you lose your mother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your father-in-law. My parents moved away, they retired, so I was alone, really alone for the first time in my life. My kids couldn't see me. My ex accused me of some crazy shit, which I don't know what the deal is with Sean Roden. I don't know what the facts are, but I can tell you this. You women out there, you have to be very careful, very, very careful about what you accuse people of doing. Yeah. Because if you're accusing people and you're lying, you could damage someone for the rest of their life.
Yeah, you're going to ruin people's lives.
You ruin people's lives. And that was what happened to me. I was going to see my kids, and then she didn't like the paycheck I brought her. Child support wasn't established. But there's this thing where there's this power struggle with parents as they go through divorce, and she was really using the kids to get the money, And yeah, man, my kids were in the car, and she freaked out and said, is this all your kids are worth? And she tried to take them out of the car and all that stuff. And that was the day, dude, I realized how fucked up it is for dads. Yeah. The cops showed up. She said he assaulted me. I didn't get arrested because there was no physical sign of altercation, but it's like Sean Roden, dude. You can be accused in this country of anything, and you have to go to a court to prove your innocence.
Right, exactly.
You're guilty until proven innocent. It's not the other way around. So anyway, that broke me in such a way that I just decided to dedicate my life to just training. And the gym became my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My sole goal, my purpose was to pound out the negativity and the anger that I was facing, and the fact I couldn't control shit. You can't control shit. What can I control? This weight. It moves up and down. It makes me feel better. It makes me bigger and stronger. That's all I can control. That was it. So that led me down this whole long journey, man, of let
me ask you a question. So being in that state, right? Being down and
a bitch.
Yeah, being a little bitch, like a little crybaby,
victim,
right?
Yeah, of course. But at least not going out and getting fucked up.
Right. But so when you're in that state, could you still focus on what you're actually doing in the gym? Because I remember when I went through my breakup, I couldn't really focus on shit for a long time, And one of my breakups.
Do you think that was because you had already established what focus was, and then you were able to see that when you were going through emotions, that you couldn't tap into what you had already experienced as focus?
Yeah, probably. I couldn't focus on my workouts. And
yeah, it was the opposite for me, because when I went in there, I had no idea what connecting my muscle connection and isolation of muscle. I just knew, go in here, do the work. Okay. Do the motion. Do it. Do it till you're exhausted. Do it till you can't do it anymore. Do it till you fail. Do it till it hurts. Just do it. Just fucking do it,
Yeah.
you know? And I even went to Hawaii, you know. I propositioned my ex-wife. I was like, hey, you know, should we start over? I'll sell the house. We can start over. I went to Hawaii. I got a job in Hawaii.
I try to get her back.
Try to get her back, dude. And then I come back, and then it was all bullshit. And, didn't work out, dude. But my sons, dude, it's a very cool.
So how many kids do you have?
I have 20.
You sound like you have a hockey team.
Yeah, I know. I have 4. I've got 2 boys and 2 girls. I got 2 boys, Jeremiah and Jacob. They're older. Jacob's an artist. He's working part-time and going to college. And Jeremiah is in the Navy. He's a aviations technician for the Navy. He's a smart kid. They're both very, very smart. And
they're here?
No, one's in Ohio, and the other one is in Virginia. Yeah. So, dude, I had so many strange people that I didn't know them. Maybe you guys out here have experienced this kind of similar thing where you meet a random stranger who just says something to you. You're like, huh, you know? And there was one particular day I remember I was in the gym, and this old man said something to me. He's like, he didn't know me or anything. I kind of was getting emotional. I was like I think I was on this hammer strength machine, incline bench, and it was just like, rah, rah, close my eyes and just bleed it out, you know? And then afterwards I kind of broke down, you know, kind of just like was there for a minute and had a moment, put my hat down real tight, you know, just kind of put my head down and was like, you know? And then this guy walks over and he looks at me and he goes, hey man, you don't know it yet, but it's the best thing that could ever happen to you. And he said, your sons, because he's seen me with my boys, like carrying him into the daycare and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, your sons are going to show you the way out. And I was like, wow. And
have you seen that man again?
no, that dude was a ghost.
That was a
projection
ghost.
from my subconscious mind.
That was you.
That was me when I was 80 going, you don't know it yet. It's the Christmas story. But no, so dude, I've had people, I don't call them messengers, angels, whatever they want to call them, man. I don't know. I've had random people like that.
A man like that came up to me too, so I don't know.
Really?
Could be the same guy.
Could be the same shape-shifting
Same fucking guy.
and angel, dude. Could be. But so I got a new job, and I finally was able, had enough money to save up to get an apartment. And, you know, because I was living in the gym for 2 weeks, I had to take a shower in the gym. I went to work out, and I went to work. I worked at this place. I was in the car business for like 8 years. I was a finance manager for this fucking shit show of a scam artist dealership called Copeland Toyota. They used to fuck people over so bad, and I would have such a problem with it. And so it didn't last long. But anyway, I was sleeping in my car and going to the gym every day.
Your morals, Dave.
Yeah, I know. They get in the way. Profits. And so I remember fucking my buddy, I got this new job at this sweet, remember Saturn Car Company?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Saturn, in the car business, they would call people at Saturn pussies because they wouldn't negotiate shit. There was a set price on everything. So you could just walk in and customers, it was a very predatory free environment. The car was priced and that's what you paid.
Yeah.
Real simple. Whereas every other car dealership was like, well, if I can get your payments today to $250, would you sign up and drive away now? And it was like basically just fucking people over. And I was like, okay, I can't do this. So my buddy got me this great job at Saturn. So he goes, dude, and shout out to Sam Fowler if you're listening to this, Sam, because he follows me still. He got married. He's got some kids recently. He finally found the road to happiness. He got out of the car business. So Sam was like, dude, the best way to get over your ex is to open up one of them online personals ads. And I was like, what are those? He's like, you didn't know? He's like, you can put your information online with one of them pictures you got, and you can talk to ladies.
Look at that. What?
I was like, all right, let's do this. What is this? And he was like, I'm telling you, man, you got options, Dave. You don't know it. And I was like, okay. So he started, picking up my self-esteem, and he made this profile of me, and he was like, just write some shit on there, man, some shit that girls like. And I was like what? And he was like, just tell them that you lost the love of your life, but you're ready to move on and find new love, and you're just a single dad who likes to work out and got a six-pack. I was like, okay, let's do it. So fucking A, man. As soon as I set up that profile, within a week, I got contacted by Yahoo. And so right around that time, dude.
Like the company.
Yeah, Yahoo.
Not some random Yahoo that's just like.
Yahoo. Yeah, some Texas chick who's like, I'm a taxidermist. I'm going to mount your head on my headboard. No, Yahoo Personals, I guess. Like back then it was just Match. There was no eHarmony and none of shit. It was just, there were two big companies, Yahoo Personal and Match.com.
Mm-hmm.
So Yahoo Personals contacted me. And dude, right, I think a few days after this, I signed the documents for the divorce finalization and the visitation agreements and the child support and everything. As soon as she knew how much I had to pay legally, she took the kids and left. She went to New Jersey. So I was subject to Virginia law to pay her. She was not subject to the same law jurisdiction in Virginia to enforce visitation. So I had to drive up to New Jersey if I wanted to see my kids. And I did that every weekend for 5 years. Damn. And yeah, it was a tough road, dude.
This is because she
was a bitch. Yeah, that's exactly
no,
what
I was gonna say because she filed like that you were abusive. Dad?
No, it had nothing to do with that. Her new boyfriend got a job up north, and she just wanted to be with him and leave the mistake that was our relationship, or the inconvenient fact that I was still hanging around.
You were the baggage.
Yeah, I was the baggage.
Okay.
So right when we got this personals thing going on, she left and she took the kids, and it really hit me hard, dude, not being able to see my sons. You know, my sons were 5 and 7 at the time. And so I was in the gym, man, hitting it hard, and I was meeting new girls or whatever, talking to them. And then I was like, dude, I don't want to go down this road. I don't want to meet someone here and start over again. I was just like, I just said it out loud. I don't know if God or whatever, but I just said it out loud. I said, if there's an opportunity that I can get out of this business and make a living for myself and be close to my sons, just please show me the way. Please show me a way to do it. So right after that, I was contacted by Yahoo. Yahoo Personal said, hey, we like your story. We like your look. Would you mind flying out? We'll pay you. Da-da-da. We're going to use you in our banner ads. So, fuck yeah. So I went there. All these people are bitching about their life and how it sucks. I'm like, yeah, well, I lost my health, and I lost my wife, and I lost my kids, and I lost everything. I got nothing left. And they're just like, oh, Jesus, dude, you're a fucking basket case. And I pretty much was. But I had real life drama. I had real time and real love invested in something. I had a lot that I lost. So there's no shame in fucking just dealing with life and, getting it over with. And, dude, so the time goes by. That was an amazing shoot. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of people. But so the time would come where I would see myself popping up on banner ads. I was like, fuck, that's fucking cool. And it would have my name, and it would say, check out David's profile. Love can start after divorce. That was my whole thing. And so shortly after I kept seeing my stuff, I got contacted by an agent. Actually, Greg, the same guy, Mike Lyons, who discovered.
Oh, Mike Lyons, dude.
Yes.
That was my agent at some point,
there
too.
There you go.
Mike.
Anybody who is in fitness in New York has to know who Mike Lyons is.
That was the Lyons agency.
Yeah, RNL.
RNL.
Yeah, RNL, that's right.
Shit. I remember I was actually on the same board as Greg, and maybe you too. I don't know.
I think so, dude.
For a brief moment. Yeah. Wow, that's
remember
funny.
how he walk in his office and he had that huge, the comp card board, where clients would come in and would say, oh, I like his look. Like you're literally like, oh, I'm just a fucking Campbell's soup can.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just pick it up.
I came into that, into RNL from fashion industry, actually.
Yeah.
From Boss Models.
Ah, you the boss, son.
I was the boss.
You were the boss, yeah.
Damn. I went to that one because Marcus Scheckenberg, I was doing a lot of research, and Marcus Scheckenberg was the first ever male supermodel.
Yeah. Before Tyson Beckford.
Yeah, and he was with that agency with Boss.
With Boss, yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck, all right. If they made this dude a super, and he was rollerblading.
And that's what they made Zoolander. Harvey Weinstein here, balls models.
Balls models, yeah. Dude, and then there were pictures of him rollerblading on South Beach, and I'm like, I rollerblade.
It's not gay. I can do it too.
But yeah, dude, that was funny. Dude, so you were with Mike Lyons.
Mike Lyons, man.
Do continue.
Yeah. So
what's up, Mike?
Yeah. What's up? Shout out to Mike. He had a health scare recently too, so it's good to see that he's off the Diet Coke, and he's drinking water and he's exercising. But no, so I flew out. He propositioned me and said, "Hey, I'd like to discuss your career. You're a little older." By that time, I was 20 years old. So he's like, "You're a little older, but I really like your look." And
wait, you were 20, and he said that you
28.
28.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was 28, and he said I was a little older, but he said there would still be a market for me. And
well, after 25, you can model like cigarette ads, right, and alcohol.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, masturbation,
pocket
pussies, all that. Yeah. So which I have right here on hand.
Ooh.
The demo will come later.
Stop teasing them.
Stop
We'll
teasing.
get
Just a little pussy. Just a little bit. So yeah, I mean, Mike contacted me, sent me an email. He's like, "Hey man, you want to come to New York? Check it out." It's like, fuck yeah, dude. I mean, I asked for it, so what am I gonna run from? I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
So come to find out, I go up there. It went well. I knocked on a few, doors. I knocked on, I forget the guy's name. He was the creative director for Men's Health magazine at the time. It was like, whoa. Like I lived in Virginia. I went to.
Was it Mark Haddad?
Mark Haddad.
Mark Haddad.
Dark-haired guy, right?
Yeah.
So I met Mark and we talked, and the whole thing was like, wow, if I'm gonna make it in New York, like the song says, you make it here, you make it anywhere.
Yeah.
So I figured, fuck it, let's do it. And interestingly enough, once Mike explained the living arrangement, he had a house.
Oh yeah,
in Rahway.
you guys had roomies and shit.
Exactly.
You guys were all
It was
packed.
like 8 in a house, bro.
And Mike was in the house, right?
Mike had like his own little apartment. Mary. And they had their own little apartment at the bottom of the house, kind of like a basement.
Okay.
And they would, so it gave them private access to the kitchen, but it was kind of like all common area, It was, and
I thought that was the coolest thing back then.
Dude, they had a pool. They had just dudes like, dude, it was cool until like they brought in like crazy farm boys from Iowa who were juiced as fuck, like 280-pound fucking savages that were just like walking around like they owned the place. Like
it was like prison.
Yeah, like yeah, I'm the alpha dog.
You're like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, like you give me.
Did you make a shiv?
No, I was just like, I was like, I'll just make a protein shake, bro. I'll be out of your way. I'm 180 pounds. Those dudes were like killers, bro.
Back then, isn't it funny how they were model houses?
Yeah.
I mean, the agencies did that. They would put all these people to save money. They would put all these new faces together in a house. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like Real World.
Yeah.
MTV's Real World.
And they were really smart in regards to who they sent to castings, and they made phone calls for favors for because they were paying their rent. Mm-hmm. If they had somebody who was their model and a job was open to several different agencies and many different models, somebody who lived in the house versus a model who was still with that agency who didn't live in the house, the one lived in the house would get the job,
right?
Because you're paying Mike's rent,
right?
So that's how he looked at it. See, it's a smart businessman. So at the same time, young kids are getting experience. They're learning what it means to beat the street and shake some hands and learn the ways of the world, So I don't give fault to Mike. Some people, they say, whatever, dude.
One thing was I had an issue with not getting paid on time.
That was a big issue. You got to live in the house to get paid on time.
Bro, I figured because I'm like, I'm not living in your fucking house.
Yeah.
But then my check would be like a year later, 8 months later.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Oh, yeah. Everybody said that about it, and it was because, Mike would float the money. I mean, that's just how things
modeling
were done.
back then was hard, man. You wouldn't get paid for fucking year.
You wouldn't get paid for shit.
Even
if you're working big jobs, like what's the big sportswear retail store? They used to do a catalog. No, they used to do a
Models.
Models, yeah, the Model catalog. That was good money, right?
Yeah, any catalog.
Was good money. Yeah. Those days were over, man. Now
it's Instagram.
Yeah, now it's just we'll send you some gear, take some pictures, and tag us.
The worst thing was like you didn't know when you were going to get paid for that job because they would tell you, oh, well, the client hasn't paid yet. so we can't give you the money because the client hasn't paid. But the client paid a long fucking time ago.
Yeah.
It's just that they gave your money to somebody else.
Exactly.
So it's like, shit. And then you would have to keep doing these jobs so you can forget about the one that you did 8 months ago.
Of course.
And then surprisingly, it's sort of like that waiting period where you're
Imagine you
have the constant flow of checks.
Imagine you had $5,000 to $7,000 out there floating around that you had plans to make moves with.
Right, and you can't do shit.
You had to get another job, like a bartender's job.
Yeah.
But anyway, you learn how life's not fair,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be prepared for the worst at all times. The city is definitely a proving ground to toughen you up, because you're going to hear no so much. You're going to hear that people, like, they're going to look at you, dissect you, break you down. You just have to be believing in yourself more than anything else. And
that was one of the things that David Bossman, who owned Boss Models, he passed away, but he said, oh no, my agent, so David owned the agency, and then my agent John Bavin at the time, who's now with Red Models, he said when he signed me, he's like, there will always be more no than yes, no matter how you look at it. So just keep your bar moderate. But that sort of helped me, with that. Clients always, it's not that they don't like you, it's just that we're looking for a guy with dark hair and you're blonde,
right?
Or it's not that you don't have a good look about you, it's just that they were looking for somebody who's maybe a little bit more out of shape. I'm like, I have abs. I used to get offended. I'm like, I have abs and this guy doesn't have fucking abs,
right?
And they would pick him for a Cosmopolitan magazine when they were writing about upcoming models, or like they had this thing where like
new look is in soft midsection. Check it out. Read page 25.
Yeah, but it was all about what was marketable. So when you said like you always have to deal with that shit, industry is like always no.
Yeah, if you can't handle failure, you're not going to get anywhere in that world. I mean, you're going to deal with it every fucking day, every day. Plus, people are going to yell at you on the train. People are going to be rude to you. They're going to honk their horns at you. And New York is really one of those places where you just kind of have to like put your feelings aside and just be focused on missions.
How did you know at one that you kind of reached this model status? Was there a certain thing that you're just like, oh fuck, I'm a model, or like
I did a shoot with this guy named Paul Arizu. He's a great photographer. He's got tons of clients, Nike and Champion, a bunch of different sports stuff. And I remember I got hired for my first paying job, which was for Champion, and it was like a stock shoot that he had the rights to the images. A lot of those images incidentally ended up in Men's Health and other different magazines. He sold them. He just paid me the buyout up front. I think the job was like $1,500, which was great. It was like my first job, $1,500. I paid my rent and I'm fucking good, because you're starving. You're working hard, especially me, dude. When I was 26 years old, I was making $90,000. I had 2 cars, a house, a wife, 2 kids, fucking rolling. At 27, but in the car business, miserable. So it's a huge risk. So I'm out there, and then this guy, he was like, I took a skateboard maneuver. I ran up the wall. I did a wall ride with no skateboard. And he was like, what was that? Can you do that again? And I was like, yeah, no problem. I just fucking ran up the wall. And he's like, can you turn at me real quick and freeze? And I was like, yeah. Fucking ran up there and held it real quick. And took this shot, right? And it was probably like, he took a low angle shot, so it looked a lot more dramatic too. But I was probably maybe 5 foot. My toes were probably 5 foot off the ground. I was kind of like Spider-Man on the wall. And dude, he sold that image for a lot of money, and it was like in this other ad and stuff. And that's
nice.
When he brought me to the side, he said, how long have you been doing this? I was like, I just started. He goes like, oh man, I think you got something, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're creative. Keep going with that. I was like, fuck yeah, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And back then it wasn't digital.
No, it was all 35 millimeter.
Right.
It was like,
so you had to take the shot and you can't even see it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, that whole New York experience finally led me to kind of like on to bigger and better. I made contacts with Men's Health. I moved back to Virginia because I really needed to I wasn't making any money, I was getting work, but it wasn't getting anywhere. I needed to find some new directions, some new things. So I made it back down to Virginia. My plan was to go down for a year, make some money, and then go back to New York again. So during that time in Virginia, I met, the mother of my daughters, and then her and I ended up moving down here. And, through a whole series of, like, I didn't want anything to do. I used to be with Optimum Nutrition. I
didn't know that.
Completely screwed that up.
You screwed it up?
Yeah, I screwed it up. Me and my ex were fighting and stuff a lot, and she was pregnant, and it's a whole bunch of drama, And so the whole thing of trying to make someone else happy and not pursuing what it is that you're meant to be doing just resulted again, So
But this is a new ex.
Yeah, this is a new ex. Yeah, another baby mama. I promise it's the last one. So, yeah, I mean, all I wanted is just a solid family life. But here's the thing, guys out there, there's this thing where, maybe your generation, like your parents, my parents, everybody out there who's like in their 30s and 40s, your parents, that generation, there was a different dynamic to how family structure was. Yeah. It was more traditional, and things worked because people didn't fight those traditions so much. You could manage it however you wanted to, but still, it wasn't like today where everyone is pursuing their dreams or goals, and it's all me,
yeah.
And so I had this idealistic thing of like, I'm going to have a family, but then at the same time I was like, but I don't know what I want to do with my life. Yeah. And that was my problem, is I lacked the realistic approach to going, look, man, this is what I want to do with my life. This is how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it every day till I get it. It was, let me work this job to take care of my family, basically. Oh. So it always resulted in the same result. It would always resulted in no happiness, person resenting me because I'm taking time to work out or whatever, right. Never giving you the personal freedom to kind of do your own development so you can break out of the cycle. Right. And just ended up in a split again. And during that whole time, there I was again. Now I'm 10 years older, in an apartment again, by myself, with no furniture again, without my kids. Again.
Damn, man.
And so it was a heavy moment, man. And I remember looking at myself in the eyes because I kept telling myself these bullshit excuses.
I think that was just like life's way of kind of chiming in and going, Dave, you need to reevaluate what you're doing, because if some things you end up doing too much of, or you don't realize that you're doing them, life's going to change it for you.
Certainly.
And it's going to throw this rock or a stick in your wheels, so to speak, and that's what's going to happen. So
it certainly does, man. It's hard to see yourself objectively sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. So you got stuck in this situation again, and
yeah. So I basically did this. This is when I discovered intermittent fasting. I did a 5-day fast because I wanted answers for my life. And out of the 5-day fast, I was contacted by Luis Rafael. Of course, I was shredded after 5 days. So Luis took these photos of me, and ultimately back in the fitness industry.
No.
10 years later, I'm in Jamaica because I won this competition. Luis submitted these photos. I meet Greg after 10 years, reconnect with Greg. Greg's like, come out to LA, fly out to LA, boom, Muscle and Fitness cover. This is 2009, 2010. So then I got the confirmation. You're in the right place. You're doing the right thing. This is what you're supposed to be doing with your life. Mm-hmm. So at that point, like after that Muscle and Fitness cover, boom, sponsor, boom, another cover, filming like different content, doing different projects, working with different photographers, basically the same life I live now, just in a more developmental stage, and just rolling, dude.
Why do you think all that stuff came to you?
I think it came to me because I was honest in asking the universe or whatever, because I had asked many times before, and it always had given me a way. It always had presented this perspective in third person, me detached from my emotional bias towards what I wanted to do. What I wanted to be with my girl, man, have my family. I mean, yes, of course I tried with everything I could, by putting my pride down.
That wasn't really like your needs to make your life grow, right? It was just more or less to satisfy somebody else's.
Certainly. And ultimately, I always rationalized the pursuit of fatherhood and being a husband as the ultimate path to personal development as a man.
Right.
I didn't see working out as, I saw it as, I still had this stigma of it's a selfish, vain, and there was things that I wasn't getting fulfillment out of it the way that I felt I should if I was in a healthy relationship, if I had a family. It'd be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just felt too much like a bro.
Yeah.
When you're on your own and you're just broing out and you're just a bro and you don't give a fuck about anything. Yeah. And it always made me feel better when I had someone to care for, when I had purpose to why I'm doing what I'm doing. It made me feel better. And then get the brief moments of time when you get to be on your own. Makes you feel better about having that time for yourself,
Right.
And then you bring the energy to the family, and it's a good balance. We're genetically designed to be in those scenarios with family. So anyway, bro, I met an investor. We opened up a website called Links Fitness. I developed a board. Remember, I gave you one of those boards, a friction board and stuff. And I was sponsored by Dymatize at the time. I was going to every show, Brazil. I was going all over the, FIBO to Australia, going everywhere, filming this content. I was the president of this company. I had 30% of the stock in it. We were launching. It was
still around.
Yeah, it's still around. I'm no longer affiliated with it, but I developed the training protocol for certification purposes because we were going to roll out the business model as you purchase it and then you can get your certification, then you can teach classes, and then you can certify other people.
Well, that's
and it was
cool.
all for fee, get a fee or whatever, and then do broadcasts and things. So, dude, right around that time when things were at their best, and I was burning my candle at both ends. I was like sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night because fuck sleep, right?
Right.
And I would wake up early. I would do my fasted cardio. I would, start working about 8 a.m. and I have my first meal and then get the, laptop and emails.
Very structured.
Super structured. And then, 12, 1 o'clock, I'll have my meal and I'm like, and I go, okay, time to work out. Two scoops of pre-workout. And then just be raging, like Jack 3D raging, like until 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And this kind of cycle of productivity ultimately led to my accident. So on October 4th, 2015, that morning, it's on my Instagram, actually, I posted it. I went for a run over at Reynolds Park. They have like a hill with like a little castle structure on top. So I was just doing some sprints that morning. Everything felt fine. Everything was normal. And then I started walking home and feeling like congested, like a little congestion was coming. I was like, man, you know how when you run real hard and you get that kind of like, you ever get that burn in your lungs when you run? Yeah. It kind of felt like that. And I was like, man, I haven't felt this in a while. Like when I was a kid, And so I took a shower and it started getting worse. I started hearing, when you breathe and you have like a bad upper respiratory, I started hearing the phlegm. Like when the doctor says, take a deep breath, they can hear that with a stethoscope, I could hear it. And I was like, what the fuck is this, So I laid down. I was like having shortness of breath. Like I was breathing, but I felt like I wasn't getting the oxygen out of the air.
Panicking, anxiety.
Yeah, and it got, and I tried to calm down and breathe deeper. And the deeper I would breathe, I would have to break up the breath because I wasn't getting enough oxygen. It took too long. I would gasp and like panic, It was a feeling I'd never felt before because it came on so strong. And then I was like, I'm having an allergic reaction. I told my girlfriend at the time, go get me some I forget what they call it, but
you were lucky you had somebody around, I guess.
Super lucky. Yeah. Super lucky. So she got this stuff and it didn't work. And it was for allergies or something. I was like, this time about 2 hours had passed and I was like hanging over the bed, coughing, wheezing, like semi-conscious. And so my ex-girlfriend called our friend Mike the Animal. We call him. Shout out to Mike the Animal on Instagram. Mike Gonzalez, the Animal, who fucking grabbed me and picked me up and said, dude, I'm taking you to the ER. Fuck you. Yeah. So I didn't want. Yeah, he's a good man. So they took me to the urgent care over off of West Dixie and 186th. It's over here by the Aroma Cafe, if you guys know. So I went in there. As soon as I went in there, and they looked at me, and then they took my my pulse. My heart rate was like 165.
Damn.
And I wasn't responding. I was breathing, and they were like, "You're having a pulmonary embolism." And immediately I'm like thrown on a chair, and they wheel me out, and they pull up the ambulance, and they shove me in the ambulance. They put the oxygen mask on me. I started feeling better with the oxygen, you know. And then all I remember was I remember kind of like passing in and out of consciousness, and then I remember being brought out of the doors of the ambulance, and vaguely remember being brought into the emergency room and hearing the doctors screaming at each other about what vitals were taken. Is he non-responsive? What's the patient's history? Have you notify the next of kin? Like all these questions, you know, like 1,000 questions being gone back and forth. And then the last thing I remember was they have this thing called an intubation tube, which is about a tube about this thick. If you guys are watching, it's about as thick as this dick and larger. And they shove it down your throat. Yeah. And trust me, when you feel like you're drowning, it's the last thing you want is someone to shove something down your throat.
Right.
So they shoved this thing down my throat, dude. And after that, I was out. I don't remember anything.
It's because you were in shock, or
they induced a coma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they induced a coma because when they took my oxygen, I was getting 40% oxygen with every breath. So what happens when your body is you go into toxic shock? Right. So then it's a cascade. Your organs start failing, which my kidneys had failed, and so they had me on kidney dialysis. I have a lot of pictures. They had probably altogether 16 different, you know, probes and needles and things strapped to me. I had a catheter. I had one of them nice little things up the dick.
Damn.
So I could pee right there while I was sleeping for 5 days.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That was the only upside. Yeah, until she's like, Mr. Moore,
like, stop being.
Yeah, we're going to pull it out today. And I was like, oh, okay.
No.
And then you watch how far they shove it up in there, dude. And you're like, whoa. Yeah. So anyway, I was out for 5 days, dude. I didn't have the ability to breathe on my own. I was definitely not there. I was in another place. I have no idea where I was for 5 days. It's like 5 days gone, gone. Forget it. 1 whole week, just off the map. Like, and
did they determine what caused it exactly?
So yeah, on my at 3 a.m. on my birthday, October 9th, 2015, I actually saw myself above myself. I woke up at 3 o'clock, but shortly before that, I saw myself above myself. And it was like, there you are, you know, like, where have you been? Like, boom. And I get back, and apparently when I regained consciousness, I extubated myself. And of course at 3 a.m. there's no nurses. They're all just doing rounds. They call it doing rounds, you know. Mm-hmm. And so they have this apparatus they strap to you that they actually secure. It's got clamps on it, so it's stuck to your head. Mm-hmm. It's like one of them gag ball things that the perverts use. But it has the tube, you know, and at the bottom of the tube, there's probably this mic-sized thing that it's inflated where your lungs are, so it stays in secure position. Right. I ripped the motherfucker out. Like I had no idea I did, but I did. Mm-hmm. It was like the urge to live was so strong that I ripped the whole thing off my face, and I started yanking off wires and stuff. Damn. And
were you fully conscious?
Yeah, I was like when you say fully conscious, I don't know what that means. Like at that point, it's like, yeah, I was fully conscious after being somewhere else after 5 days. Right. Like I had motor skills, but I wasn't necessarily directing them with consciousness, you know, like with intent yet. I was just fighting for life, like total hindbrain limbic, you know, like reptilian, you know, survival shit. And so I ripped this thing out, and all I could hear, I remember when I saw myself above myself, there were 3 people in the room. And that's how I can confirm that it wasn't a dream that I saw myself, because I asked them when I got a little bit better. I was like, that night was this person and that person in the room. They're like, yeah, you definitely saw who was in the room. And I was like, wow, that's fucking bizarre.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, and I'd experienced some similar things like that when I did ayahuasca. It's kind of like that too. You can be total astral.
So like you see yourself.
Yeah, astral projection. You could totally see yourself outside of yourself. Yeah.
Wow.
So now that I'm back in my body and I regained my ability to breathe, they had this metal thing, man, that was shoved in here, and it was a monitor for my heart. And they had done some tests while I was out to determine what would happen, why it happened, and what caused it. And I had pneumonia, and I didn't know that I had pneumonia. And I have a tumor in my heart. It's called an atrial myxoma. So it's not a malignant. It's not a cancerous. I don't think there's ever been a case of cancer tumor in a heart. It's because that type of smooth muscle doesn't allow malignant tumors, cancer tumors, to metastasize on it. Yeah. But this is a vegetative growth that probably is genetic. It's very rare, and what it does though is anything in the heart where all the blood is, the high concentration of blood, when you're sick and you have parasites or you have viruses, wherever the blood is most concentrated, that's where the virus is most concentrated. Mm. So my heart actually spit out a clot from that tumor, and it eventually, with pneumonia and everything built up, it reached a point where it was just like you're drowning in your own fluid. Yeah. So that blood clot was the pulmonary embolism, and then I wasn't able to breathe on my own, and thankfully it's on that side where the blood is down, where it's into the lungs, versus on the other side it would be pumped to the brain. Right. So then it would have been a stroke. Then it would have been probably vegetative, like a veggie fucking might.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, bro. Like struggling to grab a weight, like. That would be my destiny at that point. Like mind signal, grab weight. Like I've seen people do that, man. It brings me to tears how amazing their struggle is to just do something, So it was on my birthday. I woke up, dude, and it was some heavy shit, dude. Because right after that.
So you woke up on your birthday?
Woke up on my birthday, man. Reborn, dude.
That's It's like a gift of life.
Yeah, man. I can't make this stuff up, dude. It was like born again, dude.
Wow.
I was born again that day. And then some weird stuff was going on with my phone. It was turning on by itself and sending messages and blowing up pictures and different strange things that were like, I can only...
You woke up with superpowers?
I think so, dude.
The fuck?
I woke up a cyborg, like connected to my phone. Like
your
weird.
phone just started sending dick pics to everyone.
Yeah, it did. It was like... mash penis to the world. Fuck you. The dick is back.
You thought you could put me down? Yeah, I rise back.
I'm resurrected. Yeah. No shit, man.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah. So then the doc comes in. He's like, yeah, man, you dodged a bullet. We're happy that you're with us, but I got some bad news. He's like, we found out what the cause was, and the cause is that you have a tumor in your heart. And I was like, a what? He's like, yeah, you have a tumor in your heart, and we're gonna need to operate. And I'm like, I've been in a coma for 5 days, bro.
Damn.
Can you give me a few minutes here?
Yeah.
It's like they were ready, dude. I mean, trust me, I'm very thankful for the doctors and the caretakers that did their job, so that. And I also did my job, I'm a fighter, and I think working out and being fit helped me get through that for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Because many people who go through that don't. They gave me a 50-50 prognosis at one point, man.
Damn.
I was going septic. My organs were failing. They had to pump me full of sodium bicarbonate. They had to pump me full of baking soda. They literally had an IV, a thick-ass IV going into that arm that was like this white, milky, like it was baking soda because it would neutralize the acid in the blood and restore the pH so your organs don't die, basically. So they gave me Lasix, too. Yeah. I got all the water out, bro. I was shredded, dude.
You were shredded.
I was shredded in there, almost deaded, but I was shredded. So after a lot of care from them. I got the alarming news from the cardiologist. He's like, yep, well, you got a tumor in there. We got to take it out. And I was like, can I get a second opinion? They didn't want to give me any information. They didn't want to give me EKG, no nothing. So that was the thing. I was a little fishy. So through a series of very strange events, that the phone dialed someone that I hadn't worked with in a long time named Barbara, who just so happened to be newly dating a cardiologist in Florida through some random things. Like my phone actually called them by
without you touching the phone.
Yeah. I have witnesses that the phone did a lot of weird things. The phone, God or angels or whatever you want to call it. I used to believe that there was a complete distinction between divine messages only being sent through people and through nature. I was always thinking, like, if you're going to have a mystical experience, it could only be through certain channels. Right. It'd have to be through people and through nature or through animals and things. But after experiencing that, I'm like, dude, whatever is creating this thing, whatever is operating this whole intelligent design of what we call human and civilization, there's no rules this guy or this force has to play by. It can use the phone. And it
used the phone.
It would just use the phone. It called the person I needed to talk to because that person just started dating a week before my accident, a cardiologist. And we sent the imagery from the EKG through the phone to the cardiologist, and he said, you don't need an operation. Is it a serious situation? Do we need more testing? Does it need to be monitored? And do you need to be on blood thinners? Absolutely. Yeah. Unless you want to have another pulmonary embolism. I was like, nope. He was like, okay, so you're good. I was like, dude, they would have opened me up. They wanted to do open heart surgery on me.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they wanted to cut. You know how they take the whole they open up your rib cage from scar to here and fucking cut open your beating heart. First, they have to stop your heart. Yeah. And then they have to cut open your heart into the chamber. Ooh. And then they have to dig into the chamber around the edge where the atrium is. So if you know the chambers of the heart, the atrium, on top of the atrium, there's this little thing, like the thing in the back of your throat, a little dingle. Yeah. That just rattles.
The uvula.
Around. Yeah, it just rattles around in there every time my heart beats. It's just banging around in there. They're like, yeah, you see that on the EKG? I was like, yeah, that's fucked up. Get
just out. Cut that open.
Just cut it open and get it out.
Cut it out.
What? Isn't there something medicine I can take or something that can make it melt away? Like, can I just melt it away with my mind?
Probably can.
Yeah, probably.
Because you woke up with superpowers.
I did. I'm going to try it, dude. Because if Wim Hof says I can do it, I can do it.
If I do it.
I'm serious. So, dude, I narrowly avoided the whole surgery situation, thank God, because that would have compromised everything that I had going on. Everything was all about fitness. I actually was scheduled to go that day that my accident happened to fly out to Boise for bodybuilding.com's 25,000 transformation challenge. Wow. And Damatage ended up picking up another athlete because I obviously didn't show.
Yeah.
So
what a dick.
I know. I always resented the guy a little bit too because I was like, you don't know. It's not that I resented that he was part of the team. I just resented that he never came up and goes, hey, dude, I know you were in a coma the day they picked me up, so thanks. Just no acknowledgement, I guess. Yeah. It was kind of like, man, I'm sorry. I wish we became teammates.
So ungrateful.
Different circumstances, bro. Yeah, he's so ungrateful. I died for your spot.
I died for your sins.
Yeah, that's it. So, dude, so on to these little things, right? Because, so look. They had this whole thing where they're like, dude, you're not going anywhere until your oxygen saturation.
Yeah, tell us about this. Yeah. What is this?
So this is a oxygen saturation measurer. So every time you take a deep breath, you're retaining a certain percentage of oxygen when you breathe. Some people with asthma, it's much lower. Some people that have great, like swimmers, have excellent respiration capacity where they can absorb oxygen. Mm-hmm. See, right now I'm at 96% because I'm doing a lot of talking.
Right.
But if I just breathe for a second, so see, going up to 98. Okay. I'm not giving you a finger, but
what?
Yeah,
you're just fingering that little thing, and it tells you exactly how you're breathing.
Yeah, and it tells you your heart rate. So my heart rate.
Can I try it?
Yeah, of course. Check it out.
I haven't stuck my middle finger into anything.
Yeah, there you go. Because you're used to using 3.
Wait, is it like this?
Yeah, that's it. Okay. It should tell you your heart rate in a second.
96. Mm-hmm. 97.
There you go.
That's pretty cool. Anton.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
And your heart rate is
Heart rate is 83.
Yeah, it's
78.
Kind of high, bro.
77.
There we go.
What
Get it down. Get it down.
Heart rate. Well, my heart rate has always been too high.
Has it?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know.
You have hypertension?
Probably. Yeah. I was in the hospital when I was younger, and they told my parents that I couldn't really run around too much. I was always very hyper, so it was always just up.
Really? That's interesting.
And then now when I go and do a physical or something, I have
stress test. They always tell you
extra beat, whatever you call that.
Oh, you mean an arrhythmia?
Maybe.
Yeah. When your beat
doesn't skip a beat.
Right. It just kind of like changes the
So that's what I got.
It's arrhythmia.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's very different.
Yeah, fuck it.
But yeah, I mean, they told me that when I was younger that I couldn't run
or
murmur. Yeah,
Heart
that's
murmur.
what it is. Yeah. And since then I'm like fucking Olympia. I did marathons, obstacle courses.
Made a baby.
So it's all
as long as the heart works, the dick works, you're good.
That's it.
That's it, dude.
Been using this.
That's right.
So
speaking of this,
so that you have to do all the time now,
well, no,
or just in case something.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
so you
is
carry that around with you?
I don't do it if I'm on like a shoot where I'm traveling and it's pretty stressful and I'm depleted. Yeah, because so the way that electrolytes affect your heart rate, like if you're low on potassium, let's say for example, like I'm a big advocate of sauna use, and of course when you're prepping for a shoot, you want to be as dry as possible. Yeah. So if you're doing consecutive days in the sauna, you're doing intermittent fasting, you're doing all these things to pull nutrients out of your body, it can be very dangerous because the thing is, there's been deaths that have happened with sauna for wrestlers that have cut too much weight in too much time because you deplete the body of potassium. Right. With no potassium, you can have cardiac arrest. So I don't take any risks with my heart. So there's a few things that I've done supplementary wise, relaxation response protocols when I go to sleep at night, meditation, all this kind of stuff to get my heart rate down. And then I kind of observe these things with this device, so I know like I'm connecting to my body and making it do what I want it to do.
Let me ask before you go into that, the dick pump. So for anybody out there, how would you get ready for a shoot using sauna?
Well,
asking for a friend. Yeah.
So let's say you get the call and it's 3 days,
right?
And right now you're 10% body fat,
right?
Good luck. No, there's a snowball's chance in hell. But here's the snowball.
So it'll help with water, is what you're saying. It's not going to help if you're fat.
Yeah. I think if you use intermittent fasting, I think it's physiologically possible in 3 days to do a 3-day water fast. You have to spike your water with minerals, like with salt and with Himalayan sea salt and with like fulvic acid minerals or some type of colloidal minerals that you can get from the store. I think it's physiologically possible because you've already got the muscle, the metabolic machinery to burn off 3 to 4% body fat, maybe 5%. So you could do a depletion to where you lose 5% body fat.
Talking about totally fasting, like not eating.
Totally fasting.
Anything. For how many?
For 3 days. 3 days. So if let's say you finish, your shoot is on Saturday morning. On Wednesday night, you completely destroy the gym.
Okay.
You do full body everything. Right. You go through all the machines.
Deplete all the muscles.
You do deplete everything, but you really, really gas everything out, right? A 2-hour workout. You go home, you go to sleep. You don't do anything. Next day, you do light cardio, super hydration, go into the sauna. Go into the sauna at night. Before you go to sleep, you do 20 minutes on the bike. If you do 20 minutes of cardio in the morning, you drink during the day, you don't weight train. You drink 20 minutes or drink a bunch of water, and then you do 20 minutes and use the sauna at night. Do that for 3 consecutive days. You'll show up to your shoot 3 or 4%.
If you show up to your shoot.
Yeah. That's the thing. All your body really needs is minerals.
Yeah.
All it really needs is minerals because for the energy production of the mitochondria of the cell, that's why they call them electrolytes, because the minerals are what bioelectrically allow the cells to create energy. Right. You've got enough energy stored fat. You can, as long as you have water and electrolytes, you're good.
Now, are you sacrificing muscle?
There's just a study that was just published the other day that short-term intermittent fasting I don't know if they mentioned 3 days, but I don't think you lose muscle if you've trained your body that way. If you're especially if you're on gear, if you're running gear, you're not going to lose any muscle.
Right.
If you're natural and you're not a weight trainer, you don't use the muscle, and you're probably going to lose some because your body is like, why the fuck do we need to hold on to muscle? You barely have anyway, and you hardly ever use it.
Right.
But I think the body is intelligent in knowing, like, if you are like you and me, man, we've been training for 10, 15, 20 years. We're not going to lose muscle because you just used it 3 days ago.
Right.
It's still repair and recovery. You still have lactate and lactic acid and mechanisms that create muscle still initiated. And people say, well, if you're not getting amino acids, bro, you're just in catabolic state. I'm not sure that that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen more compelling data saying that you don't lose because ketones protect muscle. Mm-hmm. So ketones are muscle sparing. So if you're in ketosis, you're not going to lose muscle. You won't gain any.
I don't mind trying that for a shoot one day.
You should.
Just going into fast.
You're already
for 3
fucking
days.
peeled.
No, but just to experience, and then
it's a ride.
Why not?
Yeah.
I gotta get the whole protocol on minerals from you, and just and then just try it out and test it out, and kind of maybe like put it up on YouTube or whatever. That'd be cool.
Dude, you see dramatic results.
Yeah.
You see dramatic results after
right.
3 days. And talk to Todd Abrams about this if he ever comes on the podcast.
Todd's always in a sauna. Does he live in a sauna?
He is addicted to it because he knows it works. He's actually done a 3-day fast.
He's always sweating.
He is. He's always dropping pearls while sweat's dropping off his nose. He's just like, look, guys, I'm going to tell you about something that's really been bothering me about you guys just faking it.
Is he from Canada?
Yeah. Originally, he lives in Texas now. What a sweetheart of a guy, man. I love Todd. He's just such a good dad, and he's a generous dude.
I can't believe how much he's in sauna all the time. All his stories, his entire Instagram is in sauna.
Sauna man,
just sauna guy.
Exactly. It's like, this shit's hot.
But he's fucking peeled.
He is.
He posted a picture of him and Mike O'Hearn, and he's probably out-angled Mike a little bit, but he looks just as big as Mike.
He does.
And Mike's shredded.
Mike is shredded. They're all shredded out there.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking California kids.
I know. It's so easy for them out there. Huh?
Wait, so Todd is in California now?
No, they live in Texas, but I think he travels a lot out there. He does work with them, podcasts and stuff all the time. He's always doing that stuff. But but fucking, what was I gonna say? Oh, the sauna. Yeah, if you're not using the sauna, you're missing out on a huge part of the mechanisms of preserving your body. First, when the study was published about the sauna, I was initially, because this is part of my recovery protocol when I got out. So I went into the hospital and I went into the coma. I was 220 pounds. When I was discharged 7 days later, I was 282 pounds. So almost 40 pounds gone. Yeah. And so they told me when they were discharging me, I was like, so when can I start lifting weights again? And the doctor was like, we don't advise you to lift anything over 40 pounds. Yeah. And I was like, you're fucking kidding me. They were like basically telling me I need to live in a Nerf world for the rest of my life. And, when you look at your life almost ending, you look at the fact that you dodged a bullet. You look at like, what am I going to fucking do now? Yeah.
That's your bread and butter.
Like, it's all been about this. Yeah. What am I gonna do now? Fuck. No sponsor. No business.
You lost your sponsor?
No. I still.
If you were to stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of that was like, and dude, for probably 7 or 8 days after I'm laying in my bed, I'm hearing my heartbeat. I'm thinking it's a fucking time bomb.
I mean, that's all you can do is lay there and think.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah, you're just laying there and your heart's going boom, 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 boom. Yeah. You're going, oh, I'm fucking done. Every fucking thing. It's going to explode. There's something in there and it's just going to break and it's fucking drive you crazy, right? Yeah. And then until the day that you fucking grab you instead of listening to your heart, you reach down a little further between your legs and you grab your balls and you go, you didn't come this far to fucking lay in this bed on a sleepless night. You were brought back to life for a fucking reason.
Nice. And that's when you started masturbating.
That's when I masturbated
For the first
myself
time.
to sleep. And I slept for fucking 24 hours.
And that's where the penis pump comes
That's where
in.
the penis pump comes in. So right before they were like, we need to rebuild your lungs. So I was like, okay. They were like, we're not going to let you out until you can perform this consecutively. And I was like, okay, this is a test. Give me a test. So they fucking gave me this test. And shout out to the guy who's a respiratory therapist there, because I could only see like a little bit of floor when I initially woke from my coma. And his little guy with his little Gucci shoes would walk in, and he'd have his little cart with his oxygen, and he would give me the mask, and I would breathe. I was like, oh my God, like, you are Jesus. You are Jesus. Thank you, Lord Jesus. And he was like, this Haitian man, like, what made you get into this? He was like, my daughter had asthma. She would struggle running with the kids, and I cured her of asthma. I taught her how to breathe, and I realized I had a gift. And he was like, man, people in here with lung cancer, they have millions of dollars. They would say, I will give you my Bentley outside if you can help me breathe. And he's like, I can't. Like, here, just for 5 minutes. It's my job. But so he gave me this. This is a device that tests your ability to sustain breath with a certain amount of time and pressure. So you have to kind of like,
You're inhaling?
yeah, you're inhaling. And the goal is you want to inhale and you want to keep it above 3,500 for as long as you can. So
Okay.
what you got to do is get it there. And you got to hold it there. Like,
For how long?
They give you a timer. They say you have to hold it there for 5 minutes.
What?
Yeah, you got to hold it there. And it just forces you to take these breaths. You know, it's like a game. It's a game that you
It's a
play.
fun little game.
It's a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So how does this make your penis bigger?
that was, I kept asking. They keep sucking. And I was like, okay, I don't know. I see nothing going on. So then the day came where I'm just like, they plugged this up and they show me my oxygen saturation. And, you know, I had coughed up blood the whole time. That was weird. And then we're like, but you can't sit up. You got to lay down. That's the worst feeling in the world. You're trying to cough something up and you're like, but you can't sit up. You got to lay down. So you feel it all in your chest. And it's like, it was fucked up. And so I got discharged and I went home, and then began the obsession with recovery. Obsession with trying to heal myself. And they told me I'd only lift 40 pounds. I said, fuck you. And so
Why would you say that, man?
yeah, it was nice. It was
dick.
emotional. That's when I was pissed about the penis pump trick. I was like, there's no dick
They
size.
tricked me.
They did. They dicked me. So I started reading on the sauna. I started reading on intermittent fasting. I started getting like what you would call stem cell signaling supplements, things like resveratrol and things like that. Anything that I could think of that could, you know, recruit stem cells into action. And so the biggest one that I saw was, I read this article about the dry sauna and how it reduces all-cause mortality by 40%. So all causes of death by 40%. So people with cancer, people with atherosclerosis, heart disease, heart problems, degenerative neurological diseases, any disease across the board. And they established these findings through using a study group of men between the ages of 40 and 60. So they brought these people and they studied them over 5 years, and they subjected everyone. Some were novice athletes, some were triathletes. Triathlete numbers after 2 weeks went up 30% just by using the sauna. So it affects heart efficiency. So when you're in the sauna, you're vasodilated. In the presence of vasodilation, you get what's called angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels. So that means the blood can circulate through your body more efficiently, which means ultimately the delivery of oxygen and nutrients.
Right, to get more nutrients in.
More effectively. So then your heart doesn't have to work as hard
Right.
to get the blood around because your veins are open. And so I figured, dude, if my heart is my weak point and I want to preserve muscle, this is where I need to do it. So I was like a Todd Abrams disciple.
Okay.
I was in the sauna every day. And what I noticed is your cardiac efficiency gets so good that when you get out of the sauna, your work rate is higher in the gym and your heart rate is lower in the gym. I would do workouts where I would do my heart rate and I would do this prescribed reps and sets of these exercises with this weight. And I would check my heart rate. And then, a week later, I would go in the sauna first and I would be in the sauna for 30, 40 minutes. I would go out and do the same workout. My heart rate was 20, 30 beats lower on average. So it's incredible, profound how your body gets more efficient.
How long would you be in a sauna?
I usually try to go between 20 and 30 minutes minimum. Okay. The way that the article in Dr. Rhonda Patrick on findmyfitness.com, you can go to her website and you can download the PDF. I highly advise it. It's a long PDF, but the short of the PDF is basically the sauna is a fountain of youth. So it helps you recruit stem cells. It can protect your heart. It can protect lean muscle. All of the endocrine hormone, because that's a big thing. When you're in a coma or near-death experience or in an accident or whatever, if you're in the hospital and you're unconscious for any length of time, your endocrine system takes a huge crash. So your testosterone bottoms out because there's no need for it. All of these things just come crashing down. And obviously, being in shape, having muscles, all a hormonal process. So to prevent that crash, go back in the sauna. It actually increases IGF levels 1,300%. That's more than exogenous injections. Yeah. So endogenous natural production of growth hormone. And that's what triggers the cascade of norepinephrine that helps you burn more fat, of testosterone, all the various factors.
I got to say, man, starting this podcast is like so cool. This is why Joe Rogan is so smart. Like everybody just feeds him information. He just soaks it in. He just sits there and soaks it in. And then like, dude, I'm learning so much, man. Every time we have a guest, like next week we're gonna have the doctor that did stem cell.
Can't wait to talk to that guy.
Stem cell therapy, and he was one of the first people actually to start.
So mesenchymal cells, like the mesenchymal, the embryonic.
From the placenta.
Yeah, placental cells. Yeah.
So they do that overseas, and people don't know the difference. Like for example, of the stem cell treatments that they do here as opposed to overseas.
Yes.
Because they're saying it's illegal here, but they don't know. Some people are doing it here. So here they use your own cells.
Yes.
And they harvest them and then they put them back
out of your marrow or your fat, right? They take it out of your bone. Yeah. That's a nasty procedure. Be digging in my bones and shit.
But dude,
get out of my bone, man. I just grew a new one.
So that's next week for people to tune in. Nice. But I mean, this is pretty cool, man. Yeah. I gotta try. Now I'm listening to you, man. I want to try sauna. I pass by sauna all the time, and I'm like, I don't know if I should. I don't know. It's hot. What do you do in a sauna? Do you read a book?
No.
You sweat all over your book?
Yeah, I'll put some tunes on. Those earbuds actually work really well in the sauna. They really do. I put on some fucking Zen shit and I'm just listening to my heart rate.
Nice. Yeah. I just downloaded this app called Calm the other day. Yeah. And yesterday, and I tried it for the first time, and it's not like sounds or music or anything. Yeah. Well, there are those. Yeah. But the funny thing is there's Matthew McConaughey telling you a story, and he sort of puts you to sleep.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, you want me, Tug Tuckerson, to betray my friend for a jet and a lot of money?
Dude, but it's like
G5. Yeah, he's got TiVo on his contract. Fucking guy.
What was his name in Tropic Thunder?
I forget, but that was the best movie ever. Dude. My favorite movie ever.
But so there's that. The Calm app. That was kind of funny. Yeah. Or puts you to sleep. But so you so since then, right, you had your accident, and then damn, dude, that was a traumatic story. And then from there on you became a superhero with supermodel powers and good looks, and you just took over the world. And now you're here on our podcast.
Just my world,
which
bro.
is
just this world. Thank God. Yeah, during that
our
time,
podcast is actually the final stage.
Is it?
It's like the final boss.
And you beam me up after that. He's completed all the everything he needs.
Take him to Area 51.
Ready. Yeah, exactly. Show him your leader.
But he's a Perfect Physique film.
That was happening right. That released right before I went into the coma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I
remember you gave me a copy.
Yeah, I had my hands full that whole time. I was working my ass off. So I guess the thing is too is that there's limits to the amount of stress. There's not a lot of emphasis on recovery. There is more now, but 5-6 years ago, there was everything is about pre-workout. Everything is about, getting amped up to go in the gym, about getting your caffeine.
Because people want to feel it. Like they want to feel the ting. That's why there's beta-alanine in every supplement.
Exactly.
Because they feel it. Because if you don't feel it, like you take vitamin D, you don't feel shit.
Yeah. But when you're cranking yourself up to go in and destroy yourself, you need to be equally prepared to, on the back end, heal yourself.
Right.
Because energy is something, it's the same, if there's a disproportionate distribution of energy in regards to the front of the workout and the back of the workout. People think it's just food, bro. It's not just food.
Yeah.
There's other things at work. There's unhealthy inflammatory responses that can happen after you work out that just, people don't care. They're just like, I'm just going to go after them. You see all these people, complete savages, and they're going for broke on an Instagram post as if it's going to be their last post of their life. Yeah. And I'm like, I respect that.
You're talking about writing a caption?
Yeah.
Thinking of a caption to post.
And I'm like, take it easy, man. Tomorrow's going to be another day. What you don't know, because you're 22 and you're lifting like there's no tomorrow. Yeah. But when you get to 40, you're going to realize I have to deal with tomorrow. Yeah. What happens when you get to tomorrow? Yeah. Take care of yourself.
So let me ask you a question then, because some of those weren't really, so for longevity, right? If we're talking about supplements and minerals and superfoods, and what would you suggest to people who want to age better, right? What would they look into in terms of supplementation? Maybe something that they can't get from food, So
I'm a huge advocate of sunlight, natural sunlight exposure. So that would be like I would consider that a supplement. It's actually a biological need, but like breathing, you would need natural light for vitamin D. Right. So natural testosterone, but also vitamin D acts like a hormone. So it also regulates your sleep cycles. Yeah. So where do you get your growth hormone from? You get it from your sleep cycle. So people take a vitamin D supplement, which is cool. Oh yeah, niacin is great too. Yeah, that's nicotinamide or mononucleotide or nicotinamide.
I feel like you're just speaking
riboside.
Gibberish right now.
No, it's they call it nicotinamide. That's the But these types of niacin increase the circulation into like a B vitamin.
Okay, so vitamin D, right? So basically you're telling people to get a little bit more sun, which is something that everybody's afraid of.
Super, you need sun. Yeah, there's immune function implications for those who don't get
Dave, I'll get wrinkles.
I'm sorry. You can either use sun to increase your sleep cycle, which increases growth hormone, or you can get yourself out of the sun and be a vampire, and you can live until you're 200 years old. But you wouldn't have done anything with your life. You just live inside, play video games all day. Which sounds cool, actually.
Depends on a game.
Exactly. But your dick will fall off. Dude, did you see that study that they haven't? So they took 30 gamers and they took testosterone samples of their.
Damn, man, so many covers. Yeah.
From when they were 15 to 25, these gamers were 15 to 25 years old. They took blood and measured their testosterone.
No, I didn't see that.
Girls.
Oh,
they all have that.
They had little girl penises.
Little girl testosterone levels. All of them.
Oh my god.
There's no need.
And that's the age where you're supposed to be like
when
fucking
raging.
Right. If you can't stop touching your dick.
Exactly.
Damn, dude.
Raging, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, now they have supplements specifically for gamers. Right. You see that?
Yeah.
It's like they target gamers and saying that it provides mental focus. Right. And I mean, shit, man.
Channel more of your dick in your brain. You won't need your dick.
Use that shuttle. That's
extra energy. Turn your sperm into a pre-workout drink.
So besides the sunlight, what else?
So I would meditation, breathing, just any kind of breathing.
Supplements, David. Meditation. Okay. It does not come in a capsule.
Okay. How about
people need a pill.
Some type of
give them a pill.
A cognitive enhancement thing. I'm really big on kombucha for gut health. I'm really big on liquid light. Why
do you drink kombucha?
Why?
Like people see kombucha, they hear a lot of kombucha talk. They see me drinking it. They see you drinking it. They don't know why. They don't know why we're booching. So do you want to explain what the fuck it is and why we're all about the booch? Why we're raging so much?
Well, most medical literature, most people in the health field are going to tell you that disease starts in the gut, that all disease starts with inflammation. So if you're concerned about aging, you want to prevent premature or what they call systemic inflammatory response.
Yeah.
So there's a huge swath of population in this country. If you look up statistics on Candida, so Candida is a bacteria that's in your gut that's fed by junk food.
Yeah.
It's definitely an unhealthy bacteria that leads to inflammation because it breaks down. There's a thin sheet, a mucus sheet in your lower intestines.
Yeah.
So that's the wall in which it filters out the contaminants that you poop out, and then of course the minerals that your body wants to assimilate in and absorb in the blood and transfer through the body. So it's a thin mucousy membrane. Well, that Candida and all these bacterial overgrowths, they break down that layer of mucus. So as that layer gets thinner, it's allowing particulate matter in the feces that are toxic into your bloodstream. This causes a systemic inflammatory response. Your body can't distinguish and know what it is, so it attacks it. Yeah. So your immune function is always attacking things, which leads to aches and pains, which leads to discomfort and headaches, which leads to all these things that we just call, I've got these symptoms.
Right.
Well, over time, not addressing the gut health, how do you improve the gut health and prevent the premature aging or inflammation or cancer or all these things that come from, not taking care of your gut? Because there's neurons in your gut.
Well, they say that a way to a man's stomach, that's a way.
His heart is through his stomach.
Right.
100%.
Right.
So kimchi or kefir or Greek yogurt or kombucha.
Pickles.
Or pickles. No, not pickles.
Not pickles. My bad.
Yeah. You almost got me, bro. I was like, yeah, pickles. Pickle that ass. It has bacteria in it, living bacteria.
Yeah.
So lactobacillus and these different bacterial strands that are beneficial for your gut biome. Sauerkraut.
Boom.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Kimchi, dude.
Okay.
I love kimchi.
I can't stand that shit.
I love kimchi, man.
Fuck that.
They have the sriracha kimchi.
I hate saying that word.
Kimchi?
Yeah.
Kimchi. I like it. It's powerful. It's got a pump.
Because I can't say it
kimchi.
Right, probably. Kimchi?
You have to say, no,
I can't say it confidently.
You say it like a question. Like kimchi? I don't know. Kimchi?
But yeah, all that stuff's good.
You got to say kimchi.
So if somebody has a shitty digestive system and you give them kombucha, you know what happens?
They shit a lot for a good amount of time.
So people that decide to try kombucha, moderation, right? And clean up your fucking.
Everybody looks at, oh, well, if I drink kombucha, I can fucking, I can lick the dirty ass of a cow. It's like, no, bro. It's one of those things where you have to use everything correctly. You know, everything has to be like done correctly. You know, you can't have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So
yeah, kombucha is definitely one of the best.
Liquid Light. You ever heard of Liquid Light?
Liquid Light, no. Liquid
Light is a mineral supplement that they extract from plant matter, which is the smallest molecule bioavailable by humans. So colloided minerals used to be really big. They used to call them colloided silver and these kind of minerals. What they found out is that the fraction wasn't bioavailable. You couldn't really absorb and assimilate the minerals. They would just pass them through your urine. But then they started extracting minerals through this stuff called muric and fulvic acid, which is just it's plant material that they extract the minerals from, and it's a full spectrum mineral supplement that has no taste. It's kind of brown, but it has no taste. Sunwear makes the product called Liquid Light, which is probably the best I've tried, and it makes a huge difference. Huge difference in energy.
You take it?
Yeah, I do. I put it in my kombucha.
Oh shit!
Put it in the booch.
Bring it by one day. I'll try it. I'll take a picture of what the bottle looks like. I'll order.
It's super good. If you listeners out there, if you Google benefits of fulvic acid, you'll be astounded by the.
We got Anton here on the mission. Benefits
of
benefit.
I can't see it. Benefits of fulvic, FULVIC acid.
Google correct. Google correct will help you.
FULVIC. Yeah, benefits of fulvic acid. Yes. Fulvic acid.
Tired moms.
Yep. That's right. All you moms.
Are you a
out
tired
there.
mom, Dave?
Maybe this. So let's see. Boost nutrient absorption. In plants, fulvic minerals play a principal role in attracting and binding molecules, including charged ones. Yeah, that's the ones we want. We want the charged particles ready for absorption by the roots. So they're using, fulvic acid acts on the same way as it does in our bodies as well. It improves the absorption of nutrients from a digestive tract into the bloodstream. In addition, it boosts nutrient content in the foods we eat. Fulvic acid acts as a carrier for amino acid, minerals, and vitamins from digested food and increases nutrient intake into the body, thus promoting good health. Naturally growing plants such as fruit trees in the forest may contain fulvic acid. Is a reason why such foods are considerably tastier and more nutrient dense when compared to farm foods. This includes organically grown foods. Organic plants may contain very little or no fulvic acid.
Keep reading. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So improved digestion. Look, gastrointestinal disorders, right? Constipation, bloating, flatulence.
Yeah, so the reason I pulled it up this said Bob Sinclair. Do you know who this guy, Bob Sinclair?
Yeah, he's the anti-aging.
David M. Sinclair.
Yeah, David Sinclair.
Yeah, and on his podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast, he gave him at least what he takes himself for the longevity. It was pretty cool. I was trying to pull it up.
He's a dweeb. He kind of looks like somebody who doesn't work out.
He's like 52 or some shit.
I don't know, man. It's like, you know who brought up a good point? I mean, the dude's way smarter than me. I mean, respect to the guy for doing the research. He thinks that aging is a disease. He thinks that there's an algorithm for age.
Well, yeah. I mean, aging essentially is just because of the cell not replicating the same as the original one. Exactly. So, I mean, if you can beat this, then you kind of can live forever,
But doesn't that take all the meaning of life?
Well, hey, life can be just longer, 1,000 years instead of whatever, 100.
Right. I'll do that in the next 50 years. Hey, man, what's your 5-year goal? Fuck 5 years. I'll do it in 30, man. Yeah. You know what, though? The follow-up podcast the next day, I think, was, who's the guy? Greentree. Adam Greentree?
No, I don't know who's that.
Yeah, so he's the guy who shot the stem cells in his dick.
Oh, yeah.
That guy. He does all the crazy shit.
Right,
so this guy used to be a writer for, I think, Outdoors or like
this
Runner's
dude,
Life.
the doctor that I'm talking
He does
about,
the same shit?
He shoots stem cells into his dick.
Yeah,
that's fucking great, man.
Dude, he shoots stem cells in his dick. That's fucking crazy.
That is gangster shit.
And they're gonna start doing an experimental procedure where they're gonna be doing it to women.
I don't like the word experimental.
Well, stem cells are an experimental procedure.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically, they make you sign a waiver when you do it, saying that you agree that this is an experimental procedure.
Right.
So it's not guaranteed to give you gains or bigger dicks or tighter buttholes. So. I'm just back.
I want to guarantee tighter butthole. Make it happen, doctor.
Tighter butthole. Drink kombucha.
Make it happen, doctor.
we should do a podcast like that.
We should. Talking buttholes.
Sorry, I interrupted your dick injection.
No, we were going down the rant of fulvic acid,
yeah.
And how IBS, it affects IBS and just... So really the interface between the food that you eat, because when you eat, food is just falling through you and your body's breaking down and absorbing what it can. And your ability through the enzymes and the digestive process and the myelin or whatever the
David Morin wallpaper?
Sinclair.
You put in David David Morin wallpaper.
Look.
Oh, I thought that was the Google thing because people search for it. So they first search for David Morin and then the second thing they search for is David Morin.
Now
my phone.
He is a super smart dude, but he's also kind of like a dweeb. So he's not going to be a guy who lifts weights. His thing is the medicine that he advocates to use, the metformin. What it does is it partially arrests the mTOR pathway, which the mTOR pathway is the pathway in which anabolism occurs.
Okay.
So he's not interested in growing muscle at all. Matter of fact, he's interested in just being a skinny guy.
Right.
And I don't want to live forever and be a skinny dweeb.
Yeah.
I want to live a good life and be strong and fit. And
Be shredded.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah. David Sinclair. Smart genius guy who owns the patent on most drugs in the world.
Dave, where can people see you? Because I mean, so besides our podcast, because you're a regular gem here on G Gem podcast. G Gem. And so besides here, you discussing your ideals, morals, and whatever with people, right?
Usually Instagram Live is all
Instagram. I mean, they could see you on Physique, Perfect Physique Film, right?
Sure.
With a bunch of other athletes. And then are you interested in doing any more acting, or what are your future plans?
Yeah, I mean, right now I represent a supplement company called Blue Star. We do a lot of instructional fitness stuff on their Blue Star is a YouTube channel. So it's just all about, they have a mission. Blue Star has a mission to transform 5 million men by giving them the tools they need and the power to use them. So it's really an educational process of getting people to realize that you're hardwired to something inside of you that you don't quite understand yet. And the only way you're going to understand it is by failing and applying yourself over and over again.
Yeah.
I have a project I'm working on in the next few months. It's called Untamed. It's about a little bit of Wim Hof, a little bit of cold exposure, a little sauna exposure, a little bit of my story about coming back from the dead and how when you see like the world's strongest man, or
you're like the coolest zombie that we've interviewed. So
cool zombie dude. Yeah, man, I wasn't cool, man, feeling that experience, but I'm just glad to be here, brother. Yeah, it's good.
You're a totally different breed of zombies that I'm used to seeing on The Walking Dead, or
I drive with zombies every day. Everybody's driving and on their phone. It's like the speed limit is 35 and they're going 25. They're fucking zombies, dude.
Technically, you're a zombie before you die.
I'm technically
a lot of the people
could be
are.
Jesus too.
A lot of
I could be Jesus was a zombie.
No, but I'm saying like the people are like zombies because everybody's stuck in their phones. Everybody's doing the fucking
big time.
And then you're more awake now, so you're like the reverse zombie.
I went to the other side and brought it back. I went to the keys, got the keys, and brought them back. No, but this project called Untamed. Yeah, it's about people go into altered states all the time and they find supernatural powers. Yeah. Like people do psychedelics, they come back with supernatural revelations. Or I had a near-death experience. I came back with this kind of like vision intensity of my life and purpose. People who lift ungodly amounts of weight, when you see them in the World's Strongest Man, they go somewhere. Like you see their face change and their emotions. They have to summon some shit. Yeah.
They summoned Odin.
They do. They're like, Valhalla, whatever. It's fucking Thor shit they fucking call from the earth. They call a demon from the center of the earth. But I think that's the fascination that I have, that human beings are able to call upon something that is extraordinary and seldom seen. And I think we have to look at this further so that we can understand what's actually saved us in the most serious situations in the historical record when humans have gone through all the shit we've gone through. Yeah. It's those people that were able to summon something that bridged the gap between, here and there. Yeah.
So is it like a book?
It's going to be a short series that I'm going to try to sell.
Like a video series.
Yeah, video series that we're going to try to sell to like Hulu or Amazon or something like that.
That's cool.
And just kind of do the whole weird shit where we're out in the middle of nowhere.
So you're like a psychedelic Bear Grylls or some shit.
Yeah, psychedelic Bear Grylls, or getting freezing, swimming in icebergs, like that kind of crazy shit too. Wow. I'm going to do all that. Like
nice.
Have the dick fall off, seeing that I pumped it up, might as well. But yeah, dude,
that's cool.
Yeah, in the next 2
weeks. So do you think psychedelics are safe for people to use responsibly?
Well, that's something that's difficult to answer because modern society and the dynamics of day-to-day life and everybody's individual story creates this kind of case-by-case basis. Mm-hmm. And if you take somebody who...
and then it becomes a study, and then, research is always getting proven wrong.
Yeah, and you throw someone who has no idea, hasn't done any homework at all, and doesn't know anything about altered states or meditation or smoke weed or whatever, it's going to be very disorienting. I think that's the problem people have is when they get disoriented, there's an overwhelming fear that they attract in this disorientation.
Because they lose control, and everybody has to be in control all the time.
That's it.
Right. So when you lose control, of course, you fucking start panicking.
Exactly. But
and people are scared.
They are. Yeah. But how many times have you as a child, gone somewhere where you never went before and you discovered the coolest shit? Yeah. Not everybody who is what's that phrase where they say, not everyone who's looking is lost.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at my baby girl now. She's 9 months old, and she's just like anything that she's not really scared. She's all very, very curious about everything. Yeah. And that's how we used to be.
It is how
we used to be. And then we're just brainwashed and then we have to be scared of this. We have to be scared of that. Be careful of that. Be careful of this.
Right.
And so that's why, I'm asking is if you think 100%. They're safe to take, I say responsibly to say open up a certain door in your brain.
I do. I do. I think we live in a world of altered state. Like you were just pointing out that we naturally as children have this curiosity. Well, that state's been altered by our environment.
Yeah.
So when you take yourself out of this quarantined cell that we live in and put ourselves back in a natural mindset where the filters of reality and perception are opened again, it terrifies people because you get to see who you really are.
Yeah.
And we are definitely more than we've been programmed to think we are, 100%. Yeah. That's why not everybody's living their dream. That's why everyone's working for a machine.
Yeah.
So, it's
going to... You should organize these kind of...
Oh, it's coming, bro. The fucking revolution,
shit. Dave the Shaman
Dave the Shaman, bro. I'm going to be shaking the twigs at him, dude. Bashing him on the head with twigs. Just going, come back to Papa.
That'll be cool, man. As long as people, because... What do they say that it's only in drugs that you see something, only in drugs and in death that you see something new? Well, I think Chuck Palahniuk said that, that you can experience something that's other than just floating by, right? And then that's why people succumb to these things is like because they're so bored with their life, But if you just open-minded to a lot of things, I look at it sort of as like all doors closed, right? And you're sort of stuck right in the middle of the street. You're going down the street and all these businesses are closed, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's outside, nobody's outdoors, and you're just walking down the street and you don't know what the fuck to do, right?
You see signs.
Right. And then once you start opening these doors little by little, these businesses, these little different, things that you could kind of peek in and check out, right? Yeah. And then you open up your mind a little bit more, and then things start to get a little bit interesting,
right?
But if you don't do that and you just fucking, walking down this road in the darkness, it just sort of gets boring, and that's why people start doing this shit.
100%.
But they do the wrong things, I feel like, and irresponsibly.
Yeah.
So
they want to escape something that people have a tendency to create something that they can control.
Yeah.
And then they're controlled by it.
Right.
That's the nature of things. You create something, a relationship that's beneficial, that gives you status or whatever it is. This is a projection of you and your control, but then you're controlled by it. Mm-hmm. So that's why you see CEOs that do the weirdest shit. Like that guy fucking Nader who just got busted for pedophilia. Super, alpha businessman. All these people, they're super, wealthy. They can control everything. And then they got this weird fucking thing that they do.
Yeah.
Well, drugs are kind of the same thing in regards to most people only experience the drugs that check them out and loosen their inhibitions and make them wild and crazy and make them rebellious. Mm-hmm. Versus, I think if people were introduced to psychedelics first, they would have a total respect for the powers of what drugs could do. Yeah. And the argument with psychedelics is this: your brain only receives psychedelics because it already has the pre-existing receptors.
Right.
If we weren't meant to have psychedelics and ingest psychedelics or co-evolved with psychedelics, then we wouldn't have the receptor sites to receive this chemical plant, and it wouldn't interact with it. There's only a few things that pass the blood-brain barrier.
Right. And they're natural, most of them.
And they're natural. Ayahuasca passes the blood-brain barrier.
Right.
So that's the thing, is like there's mechanisms in your body to protect you against drugs that are harmful and toxic.
Right.
But there's certain natural things that have a slight toxicity
Right.
to them that have beneficial effects.
But isn't it funny how people opt out for the dangerous,
the mind fuck.
man-made?
Right. They think it's going to fuck with their mind, but I'll poison my body.
Right.
I'll poison my mind too by doing this because everyone's doing it.
Right.
It's socially accepted. Well, the social accepted drugs back in the day were the psychedelics.
Right.
Because that's how you saw your ancestors.
Yeah.
That's how you were able to go into the universe. Like when you look up at the stars for the first time and you realize how fucking small we are.
Right.
This is the way humans, in the context of themselves, in their own mind, got to see the universe inside them and know how small they are in relation to everything.
It's how the Indians around bonfires and shit used to smoke salvia divinorum and then see the gods playing and all this shit, the spirits and all that stuff.
I would love to be a part of that conversation. Just pass the pipe and just be there.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
One day we'll get to it. We're on episode 6. We're getting closer and closer to our ayahuasca trip right here in the studio.
Did you send me, Anton? Did you send me something about some link? Some guy did 10 grams of mushrooms live?
Oh, yeah. It was like an hour and a half video. I started watching 10 minutes.
Yeah, he was doing this experiments, like he was doing the microdosing, and then like, okay, let's do 10 grams, 10 microdosing, you know. And I was like, oh, hey, I mean, if he knows the experience and kind of like he been there a lot of times, you can do it probably.
You watched the whole video?
Yeah.
It's heavy. Did he freak out?
No, you just talking and everything. He just laughs. No, listen, if you look on the internet, right, you can find the videotape, like people videotaping the DMT trip, and this thing is not pretty at all.
I don't even know what DMT
is. A zombie. You know? Well, it's the essential. What's the contains
ayahuasca? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's
the molecule, dimethyl something like that.
Yeah, its life is 15 minutes. It's only 15 minutes.
Well, yeah,
so
sort of like
metabolize
salvia,
15,
where it's like 5 minutes. Damn.
Yeah. See, I didn't want to do that. I did.
What
the
made
ayahuasca.
you want to do the ayahuasca in the first place? Because you did it like 30 times already. Because you're a fucking ayahuasca.
Not 30 times, but
you did it 3 times.
Yeah, I've done it 3 times. Which within each of those, I did multiple doses of it. So they tell you that if you can handle it, try to go a little deeper.
So what do you mean multiple doses? Like you take one and they say that if you're still not fucked up enough, take another dose?
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. They want you talking.
But how do you know when it's too much? How do you know when it's too much?
Well, first of all, there's no LD50 for ayahuasca. There's no lethal dose of ayahuasca. You can't die from it. There's been cases of deaths associated with it because people have walked off and shit and been lost in the jungle.
Right.
But as far as just the administering of it, there's been no deaths associated with the ingesting of it.
So how much? When is too much? When is it too much to stop taking ayahuasca? Because they keep telling you take more if you can, and if you can, you keep going more and more and more, right? So there's no. It'll just stop working, more or less.
People know the shaman's supposed to look at you and know that when you're in the place you're supposed to be.
Okay.
Usually those guys get a read, or there's female shamans too. They get a read on you, why you're here. Usually, most people are there looking for answers from the trauma they faced in their childhood, or they're looking for some type of visual advantage or the purpose of their life, or big looming questions.
What if it's somebody that just
is
not looking? Yeah, they're just.
I'm here to get fucked up, man. Give me that
for real. Like I'm just pretty sure there are people that don't give a shit about answers.
Fucking shaman bullshit.
They're like, just give me this shit.
Greg was kind of like that. He was like, I don't know about that shaman motherfucker. He looked full of shit. I was like, what? I was like, that's my boy Julio.
So what?
He was like, he looks like he was like a part-time bank teller. I'm like, dude, he's a legit shaman. He's like, I don't trust that motherfucker. What are you talking about? He was like, and then what was cool though about that experience is I was like, bro, you got to do it. They do tobacco snuff. Are you excited yet?
Oh,
he was like, that sounds cool.
He's like,
yeah,
chewing.
He's a fucking smoker. So I was like, we're gonna shove. What they do is they have this little pipe and they have this thing of tobacco. It's ground tobacco, but it's different than regular leaf tobacco. It's a different species, but it is tobacco. But it's from South America, and it's supposed to open up your third eye. So that's why they do it. So they take the straw and they put it in there, and then you get real close to the shaman and shit, and he's like, and he puts the thing in your nose, and he said, just close your eyes, and he goes real quick, like a blowgun, and the shit, you see this dust, the brown dust and shit, and then it's like, it just burns so bad, and your eyes water up, and you feel like this state of like, you just want to sit up straight and shit.
Shit, I want to do
like
it.
some posture.
Let's go, Anton.
Get some posture and shit. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go.
We're talking about, like, all three of us actually. We're talking about some kind of a retreat. So maybe we'll all eventually, it'll be more than a talk, and we'll actually do it.
We should definitely do it.
It's not one of those things where I'm like, I need to try this shit once in my life, you know. But I do want to try.
You need to try this once in your life.
It's like not. I guess it's not one of those things on the bucket list, but it's not something I would say no to, you know. So I would definitely look into it. My girl wants to do it too. So,
dude, we will have such an adventure.
Not the baby.
She's already tripping on DST.
She's fucking tripping balls. She's like, fucking like a little cannibal on my girl's boob.
Can't say as I blame them. You know, free food available at all times. Yeah. It's like right there. But dude, you know what? Back to the reason for me being here today is really all about the message that death is a very generous thing. Yeah. Everyone's focused on life and trying to define what life is in terms of their little worlds, you know, and we get trapped in interpreting our life and saying, you know, my life is this and I am this and my status. But I think death is something that when you have a brush with death, and that's what ayahuasca is meant to do, it's meant to give you the experience of ego death or a simulation of some sort of death without the physical pain of death. And when you experience that kind of, you can't fight the chemistry of it. People who have the worst trips, it's because they're fighting and they're trying to wrap their head around why this and why that, and this sense of self that they believe they've fabricated this thing that I am this. Right. And when that goes and you're just a beating heart, breathing, you know, thing that you can't define. We can't define what human is. Right. The best minds through hundreds of years of scientific research have yet to define what we are. There's still missing links between us and the mythological Mike Tyson. There's missing links, dude. So the gig is like, when you get introduced to that, you're like, what the fuck? Well,
that's why we have that's why we have labels, and that's why everything's so, you know, we need to define everything, otherwise we're scared of it, or we rebel against it, right? Or we're just like throw sticks and stones at it or burn it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree. But I think we're
done, huh?
I mean,
so don't be afraid to take the cup.
What do you wanna leave these? I mean, you're here gonna be every episode. Yeah. But just for this episode, what do you want people to take away from this, from your story? You know,
don't be afraid of death.
Yeah.
Death happens every day, believe it or not. Cells are dying right now and souls are multiplying right now. You know, you may have a death in many different ways. You may have a death of a relationship, like I had a death of my marriage. You may have a near-death experience like I had. There's lots of deaths that happen every day. Matter of fact, when you're in the gym, you're killing yourself so that you can grow. Yeah. There's a death can be a painful process, but in the end, it leads to a regeneration and revitalization of some new purpose and path. Once you clear the way, you'll find out what you're meant to be doing. And what you're definitely meant to be doing is living a full life and not fearing every fucking thing. There's people that they're arrested in fear their entire life of peripheral bullshit. A fear of financial ruin, fear of being rejected in relationships. They don't want to ask a girl out, fear of not being buff enough or being skinny enough or being out of shape, or fear of what the fuck ever. And if you address the one true fear that we all have, which is the fear that you will die a meaningless, ridiculous death, you'll be hit by a fucking clown car full.
You'll probably shit yourself too.
Yeah. If you're able to face that one dread, then everything else has an upside to it. Yeah. So find some way to challenge without having to be in a coma.
Yeah.
Find some healthy way of contemplating your time, and know that nothing's guaranteed, and you think you have time, but you don't, and just live a full life, you know?
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want to say that.
Yeah, man.
You know, there's so many people that are on social media, and there's so many, I hate the term fake people, but there are, you know, fake people that present this persona that isn't them. Like you said, you know, some of us create these beings, and then it's only when you're high or tripping balls on some shit that you see that you, wait a second, that's not really me. What I am is like, I'm just a little nerd, you know, just trying to, I'm a little fucking atom.
Just a little grommet, just trying to get a nut.
So, you know, out of all those people on social media, you're one of the few people that's very interesting to follow and very genuine. You always have a good message and a very positive, you know, approach to life and everything you do, and it's always good to hear you talk, man. You're the whiz.
I love people, man.
You're fucking
I love
awesome.
you people.
So
you hear that?
If you guys want to follow David, make sure you check him out on Instagram. It's at getmorin.com.
Yes.
No, not .com. Get Morin.
That's it. Just get more in. Get more in life. Get more in prosperity.
Get more Dave in you.
Yep. Get more in penis pumps.
That's
available now.
Thank you guys
for limited time.
for listening. And we out next week.
Out of here.
Dude, awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, bro.
Thanks for having me.